Football League. Today, the San Francisco 49ers against the Buffalo Bills.
Well, the fans are bundled up here at Rich Stadium in Orchard Park, New York, outside of Buffalo, where we have overcast skies. And looking at the weather conditions, we see a wind chill factor of -7. We expect some rain, sleet, maybe snow later on. Right now it's okay, but it is indeed cold and getting colder as we welcome you to the 49ers against the Buffalo Bills. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dick Stockton along with Wayne Walker. And, of course, the natural thing, the 49ers like to play in that California weather. They have to come now to Western New York. That's a factor in this game.
Well, it might be. I don't think you ever get used to playing in the cold. Kay Stevenson, the Buffalo coach, says that he doesn't feel his team has an advantage playing in Buffalo in December because what they gain on Sunday, they lose during the week having to practice in it.
And I see a lot of players on both sides wearing gloves. Now, as far as the game is concerned, we talked to both coaches, and what did they say was the key today?
Kay Stevenson feels that San Francisco has more big play capabilities than any other team in the league, both offensively and defensively. He can cut down the big plays for the 49ers. He thinks his team will be in it. Bill Walsh is concerned about the Buffalo defense, in particular the cornerbacks, Mario Clark and Charles Romes. They come up and bump the wide receivers. He says if Fred Solomon and Dwight Clark can't get away from them, it'll throw his entire offense off sync. Let's go now to Dick Stockton and get it underway.
All right, Wayne, and Bill Walsh is wearing a coat now. He did not have a coat when he came out when the 49ers were introduced, but he's wearing his jacket right now. And the 49ers have won the toss and will receive. And kicking off will be Joe Danello, former New York Giant kicker, Dana McLemore, and Jeff Moore are back for the 49ers. McLemore on the left and Moore on the right. The San Francisco 49ers have had good success on the road this year, although they have dropped their last two in Chicago.
More than anything here in Buffalo, along with the wind chill factor and the cold is the wind. It swirls here in Rich Stadium. It could be a problem also for the kicking game.
Danello's kick is in the air, and it's headed for McLemore at the 1-yard line. McLemore tripped up at the 15 and finally brought down at the 21-yard line by Bill Hurley. So let's check out the San Francisco 49ers offense for you. Joe Montana, the quarterback. Freddie Solomon, the deep threat, starting at wide receiver. Tyler went over 100 yards last week. Keith Fawnhorst, the right tackle, is having a Pro Bowl kind of a year. And the rest of the experienced front line, Bubba Paris in his second year. We want to apologize for our early audio problems as Joe Montana comes out 1st and 10 at the 22. In motion is Solomon. Play action going to the air on 1st down. And Montana going very deep to Freddie Solomon. And it's almost intercepted. Covering on the play was Steve Freeman, the free safety, and that ball really hung up there.
Steve Freeman made up a lot of ground while the ball was in the air because at one time Fred Solomon was open by about 10 yards, but number 22 playing center field comes over and makes the play.
So it'll be 2nd down. The 49ers passed on 1st down every series, but the last two against Tampa Bay last week. 2nd down and 10. We'll check out the Buffalo defense after this play for you. 49ers ranked 3rd in total offense in the NFL. This time Russ Francis. And Wendell Tyler with great blocking. Gets a couple and that's all. A good defense by the Bills, and they can indeed be physical. Their front line of Ben Williams, Fred Smerlas, and Ken Johnson. We'll see a lot of Fred Smerlas today, a very active nose tackle. The linebackers to Wash, Lucius Sanford, who's having a terrific year, and Eugene Marv, a good hitter inside. And in the secondary, as Wayne mentioned, two outstanding cornerbacks in Mario Clark and Charles Romes. It'll be 3rd and 8. 3rd and 8. Montana. He's going to run for it. And he's got a 1st down and steps out of bounds at the 42.
It's another thing that Buffalo was concerned about, losing containment on Montana, and they lost at that time. Both 77, Ben Williams, a defensive end, and the big linebacker, 62, Irvin Parker, got caught up inside. You see him right there. Montana gets outside and open space, and once again, as he does so well, made something out of nothing.
And An 18-yard pickup for Joe Montana.
You definitely have to get your defensive ends upfield. Somebody has to have Montana contained on every defensive sequence, and that time they lost it.
So it's 1st and 10 now at the 42-yard line. Joe Montana, who ran for a touchdown last week, and the 3rd leading rusher for the Niners, going to the air again on 1st down. Swing pass out to Roger Craig and off his hands. Michael Kennedy was defending on the play. So there's one of the players wearing gloves today, Roger Craig, and normally that'd be a piece of cake for him in the good weather.
Well, Bill Walsh said that he wasn't really concerned about the cold weather, even though he has a California team on his hands, because most of the guys in college, one time or another, played in cold weather. But as I said before, you know, it's just something you have to shut out of your mind. Just forget it's cold out there, and then you can perform. If you worry about it, you're going to be in trouble.
San Francisco, like Buffalo, 8-6 coming into this game. 49ers, though, slightly better playoff position than the Buffalo Bills. Draw play to Roger Craig. And Craig gets beyond the 45-yard line to about the 47. Fred Smerlas, the nose tackle, in on the play. Roger Craig living up to Bill Walsh's expectations as the top rookie on this San Francisco team.
Ran in tandem very well with Wendell Tyler. Craig with 3 touchdowns in the game last week against Tampa Bay. And Tyler went over 100 yards.
Craig comes out of the ball game right now. In motion, Freddie Solomon. 35 at the 47. Montana sees some room. And Montana stops at midfield, shy of a 1st down.
Steve Freeman, Dick, a big hit. Big hit by Steve Freeman from free safety. They had Mike Wilson, the 49ers did that time, a wide receiver lined up in the backfield, tried to get him on a linebacker. He's over to the left of your screen. He'll come out. Montana looks downfield. Nothing's there. Then it looks like he's going to pick up the 1st down here. But watch number 22 reacting again, putting a good hit on Montana.
So the Bills stop the 49ers, and Tom Orris will be in to punt. And Rob Riddick is back for the Buffalo Bills. Riddick leading the team in punt returns, averages 6 yards on the return. Just gets it away. And Riddick on the run makes a fine catch of it and brings it out to the 30-yard line. So the Bills will go on offense for the first time. Leopold makes the stop on Riddick. 12-12 remaining in the first quarter. Joe Ferguson is the quarterback. We'll run down the Buffalo offense for you. In motion is the tight end Tony Hunter, and here is Joe Cribbs with Booker Moore blocking. And Carlton Williamson with help from Jack Reynolds. Stop Cribbs, who we'll see a lot of today. Coming off his best performance ever in attempts and yardage last week, Joe Cribbs. Youngsters Byron Franklin and Perry Tuttle at wide receiver. They're down to 3 wide receivers in the front line. Tom Lynch in place of Justin Cross at right tackle for the 3rd straight week. Gain of 8 yards for Joe Cribbs. It'll be 2nd down and 2. Bills are 24th in the league offensively overall. Ferguson's had a hot and cold year, but he leads the AFC with 25 touchdown passes. Booker Moore up the middle, and that'll be close. The defense for the 49ers, and of course they like to use their nickel defense with Fred Dean in there, but when they don't, the front 3 with Kugler and Board having outstanding years up front. The linebackers, Tina Turner is the one they all talk about. And in the secondary, the same 4 that were out there when the Niners won the Super Bowl 2 years ago. We're going to have a measurement now. Booker Moore close to a 1st down. The Buffalo Bills have been shut out twice at home this year. As we said, they have an 8-6 record like the 49ers. Best they can do is a wild card.
You know, historically, it's always been important as we watch the measurement here for Ferguson to get off to a good start. He's been the type of quarterback that if he gets going good early, he's hard to stop.
They're about an inch or so shy. So it'll be 3rd down and less than a yard. The Boutonniers, started by Phil Villapiano, the great linebacker on injured reserve.
Well, it was a unity thing. He dressed the whole team in them last week at Kansas City. Green ones for the offense. That means go. Red ones for the defense. That means no. No, you won't score. No, you won't catch any passes on us.
And they wore their business suits last week in Kansas City, took care of business and won. Roosevelt Leaks, number 48, is in there now. Good short yardage performer. And Leaks spins his way to a first down. And still driving. And never really goes down. And the Bills have a 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line. Dwight Hicks.
Ken Jones, the left tackle. Big surge from there. Jim Ritter, the left guard. Watch the bounce out here. Ronnie Lott is number 42. And that was Hicks, the free safety, who had to come up to make the stop.
So the Bills have a 1st and 10. Roosevelt Leaks, originally with the Baltimore Colts, now in his 9th year. And the ball at the Bills' 43-yard line. Booker Moore comes back in. They'll score under 11 minutes to go in the first quarter. Dick Stockton and Wayne Walker at Rich Stadium. And Joe Cribbs tries to leap for some yardage and gets a couple. Moves to about the 46-yard line where the play is made by Jack Reynolds.
Like all great backs, though, as you look at Joe Cribbs, looked like they had him stopped at the line of scrimmage, but he still struggled forward. And by the time he's done, he has a good solid 3 yards.
He went over 1,000 yards for the season last week, the 3rd time in his 4-year career. He's 3rd in the AFC in rushing. 2nd down and 7 at the 45. Make it the 46. Byron Franklin split to the left, and to the top of his screen is Perry Tuttle. Tony Hunter, the tight end, in motion. Ferguson's pass to Franklin. Incomplete. Eric Wright defending on the play. Joe Ferguson is the quarterback nobody knows. He's been in the league 11 years. He's been overshadowed first by O.J. Simpson, then Chuck Knox, who's now at Seattle, the head coach. Joe Cribbs now, and he has really done a yeoman-like work for Buffalo. Been in the playoffs a couple of times, but a lot of people can't even name the Buffalo quarterback.
25 touchdowns already this season, so his teammates can certainly name him. They have a lot of respect for him, as does the head coach here. He feels that he's one of the best and can do everything, can throw every pass, he said. Every pattern.
His head coach was his quarterback coach for 6 years, Kay Stevenson. 3rd down and 7 at the 45. Out of the shotgun. Pressure on Ferguson. His pass is intercepted. Bobby Leopold. And Bobby Leopold brings it back to midfield and into Buffalo territory. And the disgust evident on Joe Ferguson's face, and that is his 21st interception of the season. He led the NFL last year with 16.
He's getting a little pressure on him here out of the shotgun. You see a pretty good surge up front by the 49ers. They're getting penetration. He unloads into a crowd. 52 right there is Bobby Leopold, who plays linebacker in the nickel aspect for San Francisco, and a guy who talked his way into that starting lineup just a couple of weeks ago.
Leopold's 2nd interception, and the Niners have the ball. At the 48-yard line, following Bobby Leopold's 2nd interception of the season and the 19th by the 49ers. And Fred Smerlas moved off sides, and something that we watched the films the other day, and you talked to Fred Smerlas about how close he gets to that ball.
Yes, he was offsides 2 or 3 times.
Defense, number 76.
He was off 2 or 3 times in the Kansas City game a week ago. He crowds the ball. Look at his headgear. It's almost on the center. It's Fred Quillen right here. He relies on quickness. He wants to get his hands on the center as quickly as possible to control him. He also says, if I get my hands on him extremely fast, sometimes I can cause a fumble. I caused 6 fumbles, he said, in the first 8 games by getting on the center quickly. But he also gets offsides a few times.
He's been in the Pro Bowl the last 3 years and started last season's game. So it's 1st and 5 at the 43. Wendell Tyler going wide. Eugene Parker misses a tackle, but the Bills, pursuing very well, hold Tyler to a gain of 2 yards. Eugene Marv makes the tackle. Kay Stevenson, the youngest head coach in the National Football League. He'll be 39 next month. He was a starting quarterback for 3 games with his team back in 1968, and Sid Gilman was perhaps his top mentor.
Really a low-keyed individual. Doesn't get too excited about things, and that speaks well for his adjustments with his quarterback, Ferguson.
2nd down and 9. Fake draw, play action. Wendell Tyler diving, can't make the play. Steve Freeman was downfield along with Lucius Sanford. Would have been a very impressive catch had Tyler been able to hold on.
49ers got what they wanted that time. They got Tyler on the linebacker, Lucius Sanford. And Montana had time to to throw it. Work up front. Watch Smerlas again. The center is Fred Quillen. Quillen does a good job staying in front of him, as does the rest of the San Francisco offensive line.
How long does it take a center to know what that nose tackle's up to?
Watching the films just like we did. He knows already that he's going to be crowding him all day long.
3rd and 9 at the 47. No score, 9:08 remaining in the first quarter. In motion, Dwight Clark. This pass is caught by Clark. Clark fighting for the first down, and he's going to be denied it. Once again, the Buffalo Bills were there, and you can be sure they're going to be all over Dwight Clark and watching his every move. Lucius Sanford, the outside linebacker, who has made some ferocious hits this season, including last week against Henry Marshall of Kansas City, makes the tackle. And it'll be 4th down, and Tom Orris is in to punt for the second time. It'll be 4th and 2. Keep in mind that Orris has run successfully for first down from punt formation twice this year. There's Rob Riddick back. Riddick, a 9th-round draft choice a couple of years ago. Orris gets it off, and a good kick, and this will sail into the end zone for a touchback. 8 minutes and 12 seconds remain in the first quarter here at Rich Stadium. No score, and it'll be Buffalo ball. It's Joe Ferguson early on as to how he probably would do during the entire game.
We mentioned that if he has a tendency to get off to a fast start, then he stays with a hot hand all afternoon. On the other side of the coin, he has a tendency to get down on himself if he starts off poorly.
Illegal motion, number 85 on the offense.
So speaking about Ferguson as we continue, this is going to be an important sequence for him. That penalty right there points out one of Buffalo's major problems this year. They've hurt themselves a lot with penalties.
First down and 15. Jay Stevenson, of course, hoping that Buffalo can retain Joe Cribbs. Doesn't look like they will. He's headed for the USFL. We'll tell you more about that story as the game progresses. First down at 15 at the 15-yard line. Ferguson caught by Booker Moore, and Eric Wright brings him down at the 20-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down and 10. Booker Moore, second leading rusher. And another penalty flag. Second down and 9. Booker Moore did not play in his first year. He was a first-round draft pick 2 years ago out of Penn State. Missed the entire year with a rare disease called Guillain-Barré syndrome, which is a rare nerve disorder. Second and 9 at the 21. Cribbs up the middle, and he gets to the 24-yard line, so it'll be 3rd and about 5 or 6 now, making the tackle Lawrence Pillars on Joe Cribbs, who's headed to Birmingham, and he says he's going.
Yes, he is going. He's an amazing runner, 190 pounds, and he gets a lot of his yardage running up inside.
The Buffalo Bills claim that they did not get first refusal as far as the contract is concerned, and Cribbs says he doesn't need the Bills to get first refusal. He wants to go back home. His parents are from Sullivan, Alabama. He wants to play back down there, and that's where he's going as soon as this season's over.
He said his mom has only got to see him play 3 games, and that's a pretty good reason if you want to go back home, get back by with your family again.
3 times is not enough to watch talent like that, that's for sure. 3rd and 6 at the 24. Out of the shotgun. Ferguson's pass almost intercepted by Eric Wright. The intended receiver was Perry Tuttle, and it'll be 4th down. Ferguson's been awfully shaky so far.
Got a big rush on him again, too. Pete Kugler, 67, will come in and hit him on a release right here. But again, he threw it on the break, and Eric Wright, number 21, excellent coverage downfield. He broke for the ball better than the receiver did.
It is 4th down, 4th and 6th, and Greg Cater will kick it away. He has the lowest gross punting average in the AFC. 39.5 yards. Dana McLemore is standing at the 35. McLemore at the 39. And McLemore brings it just about midfield. Both teams have had good field position so far in this game, but now the 49ers have it at midfield with 6:17 to go first quarter. Stairs of the 49ers defense. been tricky so far for him. 1st and 10 at the 49 for San Francisco. No score. 6:17 to go in the first quarter. Play action pass. Wendell Tyler drops the ball. Penalty flag is down. We have a penalty on the play. And they're going to call offensive pass interference against the 49ers. And the ball will be spotted back inside the 40. Bob Frederick with the explanation.
Offensive pass interference, number 81.
Russ Francis, the tight end. It'll be 1st and 20. And the ball back at the 40-yard line. Clark and Solomon are split. Francis in motion. And here's Tyler. No chance to get underway. Ben Williams storming in from left defensive end. And now for an NFL Today report, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Dick, action from the NFC Central. The Lions have fallen behind the Bengals. The Lions within one victory of winning that division. Pete Johnson scores after a Billy Sims fumble. 7-0 Cincinnati. Back to Dick.
All right, Brent, we'll be watching that game and many others that affect the playoff picture. Right here we have 5:35 remaining in the first quarter. 2nd down and 23. Following a loss of 3 yards on the play, Montana back at his 37-yard line, being rushed and in trouble. Ken Johnson is chasing him. Montana moves up, nowhere to go, and out of bounds at the 36-yard line. Fred Smerlas finally chased him there, but the Buffalo defense so far reminds you a lot of the Chicago Bear defense against the 49ers a few weeks ago, Wayne.
What they did right there is one of the toughest things you can do on defense is keep the receivers covered downfield while Montana or any quarterback is running around back there behind the line of scrimmage. You have to clamp on him and stay with him, not give him an opening, because in that situation he likes to look for Dwight Clark. You definitely have to take that away, and Buffalo did.
One of Bill Walsh's problems with the club has been the breakdowns in the offensive line. Of course, sometimes the receivers are covered. The Bears totally dominated the Niners with their defensive play. Right here we have a 3rd and 24 back at the 36. Montana still on his feet. Back at the 25, running for his life. And his pass to Clark incomplete. It's amazing that Montana escaped. What a Houdini he was getting away from the pressure. Scott Perkins put the rush on. Listen to the crowd.
Houdini is right. It did look like he jumped out of the trunk on this one. 76 is Smerlas over to the left. Big Ben Williams, 77 back there with penetration. Look at Montana roll out. Look downfield. He always keeps his concentration downfield. Tries to get it to Dwight Clark as he was when he was in trouble, but to no avail.
So Tom Morris is in the punt for the 3rd time in the game. He's standing at the 21-yard line. Rob Riddick trying to get good field position for the Bills. And nearly blocked again. Riddick on the run at the 35. And he's wrestled out of bounds. And Dana McLemore applied the hit. No flags are down. But once again, Buffalo has it. Once again, good field position. Dick Stockton and Wayne Walker at Rich Stadium. Fans came prepared today with their parkas and their woolen ski hats. It's cold and getting colder. The lights are on here. 1st and 10 at the 39 for the Bills. No score. 5:05 remaining in the first quarter. Play action pass, and Ferguson going up top for Byron Franklin, and Ronnie Lott picks it off for the 49ers, and out of bounds immediately at the 22. Ronnie Lott with his 3rd interception of the season and the 2nd Niner pickoff of this game.
Very intelligent play that time by Ronnie Lott. The 49ers had rolled up into a zone over to the other side to give Eric Wright help, so Lott was kind of all by himself over here on the sideline. He had the deep third of the field. You see him with his cushion, keeping back there in that zone of his, and with his head and eyes in the backfield playing the ball. And he takes it away from Franklin. A very intelligent play by Lott, who earlier in the season had been victimized long by taking chances, gambling on the short patterns, and he was in great shape on that one.
3 interceptions for Lott, 20 on the year for the 49ers. 1st and 10 San Francisco at their own 22. Still no score. Russ Francis moves. Wendell Tyler fighting his way for a couple of yards. Right now for an NFL Today update, let's find out what Brent Musburger has to report from New York. Brent?
Dick, the Bears have just taken advantage of that Cincinnati touchdown against Minnesota. That's a lateral to Matsui. Now watch Suey. Beautifully disguised play. Peyton breaks deep. The corner man blew him out there. 74 yards. Bears add the extra point. They lead the Vikes 7-6. Back to Dick.
All right, Brent, of course, the Bears still in wild card contention in the NFC playoffs. Right here, it's 2nd down and 7 for Joe Montana. Montana to Russ Francis at the 28, complete and out of bounds, and a first down for the 49ers at the 33. Michael Kennedy, the strong safety, makes the play on Francis. Bill Walsh was telling us yesterday that he thinks the question still remains as far as the impact of Wendell Tyler and Russ Francis on the team.
They've helped the team, he said, no question about it, but he'd like to get them involved more. He said that Russ Francis should be catching at least 6 passes a game, and Wendell Tyler, should be doing more than he has. They've both had good games, and they both played in streaks, but he said he hasn't incorporated them in his offense as much as he would have liked.
1st and 10 at the 33. Montana 2 of 6. For 15 yards, Roger Craig for a couple up the middle. Ben Williams was right there. Joe Ferguson trying to break his own Buffalo record of interception passes, off to a rocky start in this game. 1 completion and 2 interceptions. But with less than 4 minutes to play in the first quarter, no score. 3:45 on the clock. 2nd down and 8 at the 35. Montana has time. Off the hands of Dwight Clark. Incomplete, and a penalty flag is down. Well, there's no question that the 49ers are having trouble holding on to the ball on passing plays.
And I think you're right, and they just seem a little bit out of sync, and I think those cornerbacks of the Buffalo Bills that we talked about earlier are doing a good job on the wide receivers.
Bob Frederick marks it off against.
Personal foul. Number 26 of the defense struck a blow to the opponent's head.
Charles Romes. Personal foul.
There's the bump and run technique that we're talking about. That's Mario Clark and Fred Solomon right there. Play him tight, make him juke around you and make moves getting off the line. It's been effective so far.
1st and 10 at midfield. We did not see it there. Montana in trouble, dumps it off to Tyler, and Tyler is hit at the 45-yard line of Buffalo by Chris Keating, the inside linebacker. And it seems that after every play, there's some sort of a scrap going on between the teams.
The 49ers instruct their wide receivers, and I'm talking about Clark and Fred Solomon, who take a lot of pride in blocking downfield. At the minute the ball is caught by somebody else downfield, block the guy that's covering you. Defensive backs don't like that.
2nd down and 5 at the 45. 3 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Joe Montana. 2nd highest completion percentage in the league to Ken Anderson of Cincinnati. Gets away from trouble again. Smerlas is after him, and the pass incomplete. Out of bounds. Intended for Dwight Clark, who claims that he was inbound. Mario Clark defending on the play. It'll be incomplete.
There he is right now, and when he makes his move and looks, and he fell down. Now he's up. Now Montana's in trouble. Now look at Clark look to adjust. Find out where the defensive back is. Try to make an adjustment back to the ball. And we couldn't tell whether he was in or out. Now we can tell from this angle. Maybe the judge watched those feet. He was out.
3rd down and 5 at the Bills' 45. Montana sending Solomon wide to the right. Montana to Solomon. 1st down. And out of bounds Solomon inside the 30-yard line at the 27. So Freddie Solomon, who the Niners need as a big play receiver, 17-yard pickup.
Montana said that if his wide receivers couldn't get away from the bump and run, that he'd have to hold the ball a little bit longer. They put Solomon in motion right here and then ran him in kind of behind Russ Francis, so he came clean right away. Montana had to deliver it fast because he got pressure. A good play right there for San Francisco. Good timing.
Solomon is averaging nearly 20 yards a catch. That's a career high for him, and he leads the 49ers. He's been slowed by injury in the last several weeks. Only 3 passes in the last 6 games coming into this one. But it's 1st and 10 for San Francisco at the Bills' 27. Here's Roger Craig, who slips and is dropped for a loss by a yard. So once again, they slip on the turf here. For an NFL Today update, let's check in with Brent Musburger in New York.
Dick, just moments ago, the Saints got on the board against the Philadelphia Eagles. Watch Kenny Stabler pull out. Great protection. Here comes Wilson. Gets open in the end zone. They add the extra point, and now the Saints lead at 7-0. Back to Dick and Wayne.
Thank you, Brent. Of course, the Saints still have visions of perhaps an NFC West title. They need a lot of help for that. And a wild card berth is still within their sights. And they're ahead. 2nd and 10 at the 27. Ronaldo Nehemiah, number 83, to the bottom of your picture. Montana has enough time. And Tyler is hit hard immediately by Michael Kennedy, the strong safety, who was a hero on defense last week for the Bills, returning an interception 22 yards for what proved to be the winning touchdown. And he made sure that Tyler was going to get a crack as soon as the ball got to him.
Kennedy was cut once this year, put on waivers by Buffalo. He enrolled in college at the University of Toledo, and when they called him back, he came back and with injuries has done a fine job for him at the strong safety position.
He had a tryout with the Falcons last year and also with the USFL this year. 3rd and 10 at the 27. Jeff Moore, number 25, replaces Tyler. Montana up the middle. Russ Francis. And they rule it an incompleted pass. He did not hold on. Eugene Marv and Chris Keating were all over him. Francis claims he had possession.
It's a couple of tough kids playing inside linebacker for Buffalo. Marv, number 54, and Keating, number 52. And they sandwiched Francis here right after the catch. It looked like he may have had it for a while, and then someone got an arm in there and dug it away. Let's take a look. 52 is Keating. 54 is Marv. A big hit right there. Marv comes over and adds to it, and right there the ball is going out and on the ground.
The offense is still out there for the 49ers, and the officials are conferring right now. And the side judge, Gary Lane, wants Ben Williams out of there.
Well, I want to know now is did they call it a catch or not?
It would not have been a first down, I don't believe.
It's been ruled as a completed pass.
Ray Wersching is going to come out. It's shy of a first down in any event by 2 yards.
And watch Wersching. He'll never look at the goalpost.
Wersching has a thing about that. You just watch him. He is 22 of 25 and has missed only 3 field goals. He's perfect inside the 40. This is a 37-yard attempt with Montana holding. High snap. And Wersching's kick is good. So in any kind of weather, Ray Wersching has been outstanding this year. And Ray Wersching's 23rd field goal of the season with 1:34 remaining in the first quarter. The San Francisco 49ers break out on top 3-0.
Wersching has been a machine, Dick, as you mentioned, and he does have that idiosyncrasy about never looking at the goalpost. He lines up by using the hash marks on the field. Maybe everybody else should start doing that because he's kicking as good as anybody in the league right now.
Next Saturday, immediately following the Giants-Redskins game on CBS, you'll see the defending national champion North Carolina State Wolfpack host Louisville. Both teams, of course, Final Four a year ago. Jim Valvano, colorful Wolfpack coach. Some of his heroes are back, including Lorenzo Charles, who scored the winning basket. Plus, exciting newcomer Spud Webb. Be sure to join Billy Packer and Gary Bender for all the action next Saturday at 3:45 Eastern Time on CBS Sports. Ray Wersching will be kicking off. Van Williams and Rob Riddick are back. Riddick on the left. 3-0 the 49ers lead. Talk about Pro Bowl performers. Ray Wersching should be making his plans now.
Yes, he's never been to one. He's having perhaps his best year.
Time remaining in the first quarter. Van Williams at the 9. Breaks one tackle and is out of bounds at the 26-yard line. Well, coming up next, the big one, the game everyone's been talking about, the Washington Redskins and the Dallas Cowboys, and of course the number one importance is for the home field advantage that the winner would get for the playoffs.
Yes, and that's been talked about enough, and so is their 12-2 records, Dick. But I'll tell you one thing, I like to watch these teams play because they genuinely don't care for each other.
That's for sure. The Cowboys have dominated in recent years. Redskins, of course, the Super Bowl champions. Some of you will be seeing the St. Louis Cardinals, who are still mathematically alive for a playoff berth, against the Los Angeles Raiders. The Bills have the ball first and 10 at the 27-yard line. Byron Franklin in motion. Ferguson has thrown 2 interceptions. Joe Cribbs with Ricky Ellison right there making the tackle, brings it out to the 30. Gain of 3.
I mentioned earlier, Cribbs, a 190-pounder and running up inside. You know, he said, I really feel like the best thing I do out there is come out of the backfield and catch passes. I feel like I'm a wide receiver playing running back. But he has really been successful running the ball, and especially inside for a guy without great size. He's got tremendous balance.
He's the leading receiver on the Bills, coming into the game 12 more than the second-place receiver. He's got 10 touchdowns all told, 7 of them on the ground. Second down and 7 at the 30. 3-0 49ers lead, 43 seconds to go. And Joe Cribbs breaks the tackle up the middle, and watch the speed. Eric Wright gets them from behind to stop a touchdown. A 46-yard gain, his longest run from scrimmage this year. Joe Cribbs
had 185 yards on the ground last week against Kansas City. Here he is, tailed back about 5 yards back, straight ahead blocking. A good block by Booker Moore, number 34, on the inside linebacker, Ricky Ellison. And then just watch the speed here. Number 21, Eric Wright, makes a dive, gets his ankle and brings him down.
An explosive run by Joe Cribbs as the gun sounds, ending the first quarter. And it leads the crowd on its feet. Buffalo will have it at the 49er 25 when we start the second quarter here at Rich Stadium in Orchard Park. Start of the second quarter here at Rich Stadium in Orchard Park. Dick Stockton and Wayne Walker, they're still buzzing over Joe Cribbs' 46-yard run. First and 10, Buffalo at the San Francisco 25. And they give it to Cribbs up the middle. Head down. Penalty flag immediately thrown as Cribbs tries to fight his way to the 20. Jack Reynolds was there, the inside backer, holding against Buffalo. Those are the kind of mistakes, as you pointed out, the penalties that have hurt Buffalo all year, especially when they get into really the prime scoring territory.
Well, Dick, I really feel that holding on a running play is in the area of a mental mistake. Because you can get away with so much now as an offensive lineman. I really don't feel like you have to hold on a run.
Offensive holding, number 73.
That was John Borchert, the right guard, holding on the play.
Hacksaw Reynolds said that's the thing that has really changed in football over the last 10 years, is that the offensive linemen, even on runs, do come out and pull you down.
Bills have been penalized 4 times for 35 yards so far in this game, and they're faced with a first down and 20 on the Niners' 35-yard line. Opening minute of play, second quarter. 3-0, San Francisco. Joe Cribbs on the pitch. Borchert with a good block as Cribbs gets inside the 30-yard line. Once again, Jack Reynolds makes the tackle. New Orleans leading Philadelphia 7-3. The Eagles are out of it, and the Saints still fighting for a playoff berth. Chicago over Minnesota, both of those teams alive.
Detroit trailing Cincinnati 7-0. The Lions need to win 1 of their remaining 2.
Seattle also in wild card contention, leading the Giants 7-3. And Houston is surprised over Cleveland 10-3. If the Browns lose, the Steelers wrap up the AFC Central title. Browns still alive for a wild card. Second down and 13 at the 28-yard line. Byron Franklin in motion. Ferguson's pass caught this time by Buster Barnett. And Barnett close to a first down. Tackle made by Carlton Williamson. There's a talented tight end they like very much. He's in his 3rd year out of Jackson State and an 11th round draft choice. His asset has been as a blocker, but he showed good hands there.
Getting some playing time now because of the injury to the regular starter Mark Bramer, and also played behind Tony Hunter. Also another asset you mentioned, blocker. He's got good speed, Dick, and showed it here.
Buster Barnett, who scored a touchdown on his first NFL catch ever this year against the Baltimore Colts. They're shy of a first down by 2 yards. It'll be 3rd and 2. Timeout called by Buffalo. We'll be back. The starting tight end, understand, is having his shoulder x-rayed, so Buster Barnett is in there. They've already lost Mark Bramer, their starting tight end. They're down to 1 tight end right now. 3rd down and 2 at the 17 for the Bills as the sun tries to fight its way through the clouds. Ferguson out of the shotgun, looking for a receiver. He's got one. Perry Tuttle, first down, Bills, inside the 10. Perry Tuttle, first-round draft choice last year, and his first NFL start last week, caught a touchdown pass.
That shades right here, the San Francisco passing game, as Tuttle comes short across the field under the linebackers. Ellison was 50, and there's your first down. Isolation right here. Now watch him delay a little bit. Sneak around behind that linebacker. Under the next one. Look for the ball. And Ferguson had it right on the money.
This was the receiver the Eagles wanted so badly last year, and they had to settle for Mike Quick. I don't think they're complaining now. But Tuttle's got a great future. 1st and goal at the 6 for the Bills. Trailing 3-0. 11-yard pickup. Booker Moore inside the 5 to about the 3. 12:40 remaining in the second quarter. 49ers lead at 3-0. Kugler and Board up front made a tackle. And there's Tim Vogler, who gets the play from Kay Stevenson.
Backup center. He may be coming in at tight end right now because of the injury to Tony Hunter.
Byron Franklin and Perry Tuttle come out, so they're going to use all of their bulk in the goal line situation. 2nd down and 3. And now the Bills, who called a timeout moments ago, now are forced to call another timeout. So it's 12:09 remaining in the second quarter. Joe Ferguson will talk things over again with Kay Stevenson. Following the second Bills timeout, Joe Ferguson trying to get the Bills in the end zone. 2nd down and 3 at the 3-yard line. 12:09 remaining. 3-0 San Francisco are in the second quarter. Stuckey, Stover, Kugler, and Pillars are up front for San Francisco. In motion is Julius Dawkins. Ferguson going to try and run it. And he did not make it. He is down shy of the goal line. The Bills are claiming he went over. No signal was given, and it stopped right there, just less than a yard from the goal line. Carlton Williamson made the tackle.
Misdirection here for the 49ers. One guard does pull. That's Borchardt out in front. Ferguson cuts up in. Carlton Williamson makes the hit. Ricky Ellison comes over to seal, and that was the preventer right there that kept him from crossing the goal line. Williamson, then Ellison, and Ferguson is down short.
And a cracking hit on Ferguson. 3rd and goal at the 1. Vogler is a tight end with Barnett there. And Roosevelt Leaks is in for the touchdown. And Ferguson gets it done.
Straight ahead power here. A surge by the offensive line. Roosevelt Leaks, the ex-Texas star, up and over. And the Bills have 6.
And coming into this game, the only touchdowns rushing by the Bills were by Joe Cribbs, and only 3 at that. And so Roosevelt Leaks with his first, and the first back other than Joe Cribbs to score a touchdown on the ground this year. And there's Joe Dinello. Matt Toffler, the backup quarterback, will be holding for Dinello, who is 30 for 32 in conversions. The kick is good. And the Bills have taken a 7-3 lead with 11:18 to go in the second quarter. The big play, however, was Joe Cribbs' 46-yard ramble. 7-3, the Buffalo Bills are leading the San Francisco 49ers. Dinella will be kicking off. And back for the 49ers, Dana McLemore and Jeff Moore. McLemore to the left. There's the drive. Took over 5 minutes. And McLemore. They get Moore now at the 11-yard line. Slips, drops, and a penalty flag is down. Penalty flag is down. As Moore is stopped shy of the 25-yard line. Illegal block against San Francisco.
Well, Dick, regardless of what Kay Stevenson told us yesterday at practice, I think Buffalo has had a little advantage out here today because they're handling the slick turf a little bit better than San Francisco is. You got to run your cuts differently.
Illegal block. Number 52 on the kick return team. First down.
It was against Leopold. It'll be first down and 10 at the 13-yard line for the 49ers. Ray Wersching kicked a 37-yard field goal in the first quarter. Roosevelt Leaks went over from 1 yard out early here in the second. 7-3 Buffalo. Roger Craig tries the right side. Head down. Gets beyond the 20. And a good run by Roger Craig. Right now, Brent Musburger with an NFL Today report. Brent?
Dick, we've got a couple of developments in the Cincinnati Bengal game. Now watch this bobble snap from center. Kenny Anderson will scoop it up against Detroit, and this run will set up a touchdown. Anderson was injured on the play, not serious. Pete Johnson has scored again. 14-0 Cincinnati. Back to Dick and Wayne.
Thank you, Brent. Keep in mind the Lions need to win one game. If not today, they got Tampa Bay at home next week to wrap up the NFC Central. Meanwhile, right here, it's 2nd and 2 at the 21-yard line. Fumble. Roger Craig lost it, and the 49ers, Brett Quillen, alertly picked up the ball. Quillen, the center, was right there as the ball popped out of the hands of Roger Craig.
Almost every time you see a ball come out like that, it means somebody got a helmet on it. Let's see right here. The handoff to Craig. Sees the hole right there, and Fred Smerlis came in, number 76, stripped it away.
Loss of a yard. It'll make it 3rd down and 3 at the 20-yard line. Montana going to the air on 3rd and 3. Jeff Moore has it. First down. And Moore ridden out of bounds at the 31-yard line by Chris Keating. So that's what Jeff Moore does best, coming out of the backfield to catch the pass.
They had 2 wide receivers over to the left side, and they were playing bump and run on them both. They brought Moore out of the backfield. He ran short in an out pattern behind him on the linebacker and was wide open. Look downfield there. You see Clark blocking on Romes.
Jeff Moore, not much of a kicker this year as he was last year when he was the 2nd leading receiver and leading rusher for the 49ers. So it's 1st and 10 at the 31. Montana has Eason Ramsden. Fumble. And several players had a shot at it, and Buffalo winds up with it. I believe Michael Kennedy recovered the fumble for the Bills. Well, there's no doubt about it, and we said it before, the 49ers are having difficulty holding on, whether it's the cold or whatever.
Second big play by Michael Kennedy from strong safety. Eason Ramsden delays for a count or two, then is short over the middle, takes a big hit from 54 Eugene Marves. The ball came out, bounces around, and finally it was number 21 Mike Kennedy who put Buffalo in business.
That's the fumble, one of the best kept secrets, they say, in the NFL.
From Saginaw Valley State, there are a lot of secrets there, I bet you.
1st and 10 at the 41. First turnover of the game for San Francisco. The Bills have the ball and the lead. Joe Cribbs up the middle, gets to the 40-yard line, and that's all. Jack Reynolds and Ricky Ellison make the tackle. Eugene Marv made 17 tackles last week against Kansas City. He's having a terrific season for the Buffalo Bills. 49ers had the edge first half of the year as far as the takeaway ratio, but not in the last half.
Bill Walsh said that was one of the things that has prevented his ball club from being better than they are. They have fumbled games away.
Ferguson is 3 of 7 for 28 yards and has thrown 2 interceptions so far. Want to put this one up, and the pass, Byron Franklin Gets a little extra hit from Ronnie Lott out of bounds. Nothing serious enough to cause a flag, but it's complete, and it'll be a first down for the Bills inside the 30.
That's just going to help Ferguson. This was a great throw right here. Had it right on the money to the sideline. Byron Franklin covered well by Ronnie Lott. Lott's right there trying to get the ball out, but can't.
Byron Franklin played at Auburn, where they do more running, obviously, than passing, with Cribbs and Andrews and Brooks, and this year another one.
Bo Jackson.
Injured reserve last year, had a back operation. He played with Cribbs at Auburn. They like him. 1st and 10 at the 27. Here's Cribbs. To about the 23-yard line. Joe Cribbs gained of 4 yards on the play. 8 minutes and 40 seconds remain in the first half. 7-3, the Bills lead the 49ers. Tina Turner and Jack Reynolds, the linebackers, made the tackle.
Joe Cribbs said that last week after Bo Jackson had that big game for Auburn against Alabama that he went to bed that night and dreamed of gaining over 300 yards himself. He didn't get 300, but he got 185 against Kansas City.
Well, he gave an indication of what kind of a young man he is with the kind of season he's had, despite the fact that he knows he's leaving the Bills after this year. 2nd down and 6 at the 23, and I count 5 penalty flags thrown.
I guarantee you that play wasn't a pass.
False start, 51 offense.
That was the left guard, Jim Richer, who replaced Reggie McKenzie. Remember the electric company here in Buffalo in the O.J. days? McKenzie now at Seattle, former first draft choice, Jim Richer.
Richer is to the right of the center and the quarterback here, and he gets a little bit premature with his start, going out on Jack Reynolds, and the flag's out. That's a pretty good ole by Hacksaw there.
Everything but the red cape. 2nd down, 11. Draw play, Booker Moore. Can't go anywhere. Ricky Ellison. Ricky Ellison has had a fine season. The rookie from Southern California, the candidate for all-rookie team, was there from the very start.
He was a 5th-round draft choice for San Francisco and would have gone higher, except he had 3 knee operations playing for the Trojans at USC. He was a starter for USC and John Robinson when he was a freshman. He was a real find. He stepped right in when Hacksaw Reynolds and Bob Horn were hurt earlier in the year, and they couldn't get him out of there.
A lot of people may remember as Ricky Gray. Had his name changed back to Ellison when he visited his dad in New Zealand. Fred Dean is in the game, number 74, the leader in sacks. He's going to try and get to Ferguson on 3rd and 11. And this pass incomplete. Richard Blackmore defending against Byron Franklin, who looks like he's limping as he comes back now. There's Blackmore, who was acquired during the siege of injuries in the secondary for the 49ers this year. He was the nickelback for the Eagles last year. So on 4th and 11, Joe Dinello is in to try. 9 of 16, but 4 of his misses have been from 50 yards or beyond. Matt Kopler will be holding. And this is going to be a long attempt. 46 yards. Dinello's dropped by the New York Giants. Picked up by the Bills. Blocked. The kick is blocked. And the 49ers are going to recover right about at the 30-yard line.
Lawrence Pillars may have gotten a hand on it. Number 65, the defensive end. He got good surge and got an arm up, and it may have been him. Let's take a look. I can tell you from past experience that kicking a football in this kind of weather is no fun. You can't get it to compress. It's like kicking a rock. He didn't get much on it, and it was Pillars, number 65, with the hand up. So the 49ers take over right from there.
1st and 10 for the 49ers on their own 30-yard line. 7-3, the Bills lead with 7:12 remaining in the first half. Roger Craig looking for running room. Gets a yard and maybe 2. Ben Williams, the left end, makes the stop. Let's pick up some scores from around the league on this, the next to last weekend of the regular year. New Orleans over Philadelphia in the second quarter. Chicago over Minnesota. That score hasn't changed. Still the first. Cincinnati 14-0 over Detroit. Pete Johnson with 2 touchdowns. Second down and 8. The ball at the 32-yard line. Penalty flag down. Randy Cross blocking for Wendell Tyler, who carries it out to the 35-yard line. Tyler might have moved before the snap. Charles Romes, the right cornerback, is shaken up and slow getting up. We'll explain to you clarify what the playoff story is for both of these clubs today. Of course, the San Francisco 49ers come into this game.
Illegal motion. The offense will be refused.
They refuse the penalty. So in the NFC West, standings coming into this weekend, LA and San Francisco tied. Keep in mind that if they end up tied, the Rams, by virtue of a better division record, would win the division fight.
And even if the 49ers would lose today, they could still get in the playoffs as a wild card by beating Dallas a week from Monday night.
And if they end up in a 3-way tie, the 49ers would be the division champions.
3-way tie between San Francisco, LA, and New Orleans.
Now the Buffalo Bills have a tougher fight right now. Miami's already clinched the AFC East title. They cannot control their own destiny. They must win 2 and have Cleveland or Denver lose 1. Now the Browns are losing to Houston.
Buffalo needs to win 2. That's right, and either Denver or Cleveland lose 1.
Of course, if Buffalo wins only 1, they have to hope that both of the other clubs lose 2. Name of the game is win. 3rd and 5 at the 35. Montana looking for receivers, and Russ Francis is there and has a first down at the 41-yard line. He was wide open, and the players are going at it again. Lucius Sanford makes the tackle, a 25-yard gain. Montana to Russ Francis.
Montana again had to go to the tight end, play action pass right here, looking for a wide receiver. Nothing there. Francis is clearing. Montana in trouble now, and this is about the 3rd guy he looked at. Russ Francis wide open. Lucius Sanford closes and makes the hit from behind. So good adjustment by Montana that time. We had a couple things taken away from him.
Montana now 8 of 14 for 92 yards. 1st and 10 now at the Buffalo 41. 7-3 the Bills lead. Montana down. Irvin Parker, the right outside linebacker, starting for the first time in his career last year out of South Carolina State.
And one of the biggest outside linebackers in the league, too, at 6'5", 240 pounds. I know he'll remind a lot of San Francisco fans, a guy named Dave Wilcox, who was about that size.
You remember the Bermuda Triangle that the Buffalo Bills made famous with Fred Smerlas, Shane Nelson, who's been out with a knee injury, and Jim Haslett, who's just trying to get back. 2nd down and 18. Back at the 48-yard line. A loss of 7 on the play. Chasing Montana again. He drills it. It's deflected. It was intended for Russ Francis, and Mario Clark got a hand on it. 5:09 remaining in the first half. 7-3 the Bills lead, and Joe Montana having more and more trouble getting the ball close to the Buffalo goal line because the pressure of the Bills defense has been the story.
Well, he's done that a lot this year. He's had to move around back there. There have been games where the offensive line and its protection hasn't been what it should be, but Montana has that ability to improvise and make something out of nothing. Talking to Bill Walsh over the weekend, he said without a doubt number 16 has got to be his most valuable player.
3rd down and 18 at the 48. Jeff Moore replaces Tyler. He can catch coming out of the backfield. Stepping up, Montana. And he's going to go for Jeff Moore. And Moore makes the reception at the 15-yard line. Mario Clark makes the hit on Jeff Moore. And a big gainer, 33 yards. And the 49ers are threatening to score.
Moore was 2nd on this club in receptions last year out of the running back position. 5th in the NFC. Both men keep working here. Montana looking around. Concentration still downfield, and Moore running on the sidelines. Gets in the seam of his zone, a dead area there, and Montana had it right on the shelf.
It's been the passing game that's worked for the 49ers so far. Wendell Tyler has gained 2 yards in 5 attempts. Craig, 16 yards in 6 attempts. 1st and 10 at the 15. Dwight Clark fights his way close to the 5-yard line. Eugene Marv makes the hit. Montana has not thrown a touchdown pass in his last 2 games. He has 21 for the season. But in games 2 through 5 this year, he threw 12, and that was his hottest time. Second down and 1 at the 6. Clark has caught 8 of those 21 touchdown passes from Montana. On the ground, Bill Ring stopped and loses a yard. The Bills were ready for that.
The Bills are getting after it up front both ways. I think we've done quite a few San Francisco games this year. I don't think we've ever seen Bill Ring lose a yard. But look at that surge by that blue defensive line, and Eugene Marv, number 54, come in and clean up. They're flying around down there now on defense.
So Eason Ramson comes into the game replacing Dwight Clark on 3rd and a little more than a yard. Buffalo defense trying to hold the fort. Bills leading 7-3 with 3:42 to go in the first half. Play action, Montana. He slipped and he's down. He couldn't get underway. Irvin Parker will get credit for the tackle. And so it's 4th down, and Ray Wersching will come in.
Montana wanted to roll out to the right and had to pull up because number 62, Irvin Parker, the big outside linebacker, was in good shape out here. There he is right there. Montana had to pull up before he wanted to and went down on the turf. So a good job by the strong side linebacker.
And Ray Wersching can establish an all-time one-season scoring record for a 49er. He is 2 behind Gordy Saltow's mark set in 1953. A 29-yard field goal attempt with Joe Montana holding. And the kick is good, and so the 49ers inch closer. It's a 7-6 ball game, and Ray Wersching, now with 115 points, has passed Gordy Saltow, the all-time one-season scoring record by a 49er.
Dick, although we don't have snow flying around here and the field looks pretty clean down there, this is a typical December game in Buffalo, and I think it's going to be this way the rest of the afternoon. It's going to be low scoring and dominated by the defense. The field is a little bit slippery. Both defenses are hitting well out there, and I think this is just the kind of game we're going to have, just an old-fashioned tough one.
You remember a few of those.
The Central Division was always like this. After the 1st of December, you never had to look at the weather report.
Well, the record he broke, Gordy Saltow, is one of the legends of the 49ers.
And he's on this trip, by the way. Made a trip with one of the alums. He'll be the first to congratulate Ray Wersching when this one's over.
So Ray has the record and his second field goal of the game. That was 29. The first was from 37 yards. He is now 24 of 27 for the season, and it'll be kicking off now to Rob Riddick and Van Williams. Riddick on the left. Good kick into the end zone, and Rob Riddick will keep it there. It'll be a touchback, and the Bills will bring it out 1st and 10 at their 20. Don't forget, coming up next, the big confrontation, the showdown between the Redskins and the Cowboys. You know, we talk about takeaways and giveaways, and the Redskins have an amazing plus 40 advantage. They do not make many mistakes.
No, they don't. One reason is they give the ball about 30 times a game to John Riggins, who never fumbles.
Dallas Cowboys are a plus 16, so the reason why these teams are 12-2, they're really causing mistakes and not making many of their own. And for those of you in San Diego, Denver, and of course in St. Louis, the Cardinals alive for a playoff berth against the Los Angeles Raiders, who have wrapped up the AFC West title. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Ferguson up the middle. Booker Moore has it and is hit immediately by Ricky Ellison. It'll only be good for a couple of yard gain there. Well, there's a fellow who came equipped with a couple of boots, as they say, the boutonnieres.
Boutonnieres, boots, that was, as we mentioned, Phil Filippiano. He's kind of the spiritual leader right now of this Buffalo team. Injured his knee earlier in the year against Houston. Was operated on and probably is at the end of his career. Told me that he didn't think he'd play again next year. Couldn't come back up to that kind of knee, but he's still here, hustling these guys on and keeping them going. A young defensive team.
Time remaining. 2nd and 6 at the 24 now. Ferguson to Cribbs. 1st down at the 35-yard line. Joe Cribbs, who went into this game, as we said, the leading receiver. 11-yard pickup there. Ronnie Lott made the tackle.
Can you imagine Cribbs and William Andrews and James Brooks in the same backfield at Auburn? They were at one time.
Tina Turner is shaken up momentarily, and the clock stops at 2:07. Don't forget, at halftime, Brendan Irv will bring you up to date with scores and highlights from around the league in this very important week. Dick Vermeil will have an analysis of the game coming up after this, and Jimmy the Greek will make his choice on who he likes, Skins or Cowboys, in Game 2. It's coming up at halftime. Clock runs now, and now it's just going to stop right now with a 2-minute warning. So with 2 minutes remaining in the first half, and the Bills first and 10 on their 35, we'll take a break right now with the score 7-6 Buffalo. First and 10 at the 35 for the Bills. Joe Ferguson has completed 6 of 11 passes for 56 yards, but has thrown 2 interceptions. This is Booker Moore. A loss on the play.
That's complete to Booker Moore.
So Booker Moore loses, and Willie Harper pursuing. Clock stops, 1:55 showing. The Bills have 1 timeout remaining. Dwayne Board put on a good rush on Joe Ferguson. And there's Phil Villapiano, who you're talking about.
Great linebacker for many years with the Oakland Raiders. And as we said, he's here to stir things up for this defensive team in Buffalo.
He had the kickers Cater and Danello wearing tuxedos last week in Kansas City.
Just hired a plane to fly over the stadium today with a sign trailing it that says Boots on it.
Hope we can see it. Second down and 13 at the 32. Out of the shotgun again for the Bills. And pressure on Ferguson. Pass up the middle to Buster Barnett. And the tight end has a first down at the 46-yard line. So the 11th round draft pick out of Jackson State, and there are a lot of players on the Bills who have come from the relatively obscure schools, he said.
And I want to mention that Ferguson just absolutely drilled that pass in there. It was a great throw.
14-yard gain. Stuckey and Leopold make the stop. 1:28 on the clock. Penalty flag is down. Barnett again up the middle. 2 flags fly, and the clock stops with 1:25 showing as Barnett makes the reception at the 46 of San Francisco.
Defense offside.
Offsides against the 49ers.
And even if they don't take the penalty, that helped Buffalo anyway, Dick, by getting the clock stopped for them. They only have 1 timeout remaining because of that mix-up they had down near the goal line before and had to use up 2.
In a hurry. The penalty is refused. It'll be second down and a yard. Joe Ferguson. Dwayne Board putting the rush on. Ferguson chased. Penalty flag fly, and Joe Ferguson is going to run out of bounds at the 33-yard line. But the penalty marker is down. Fred Dean was rushing along with Dwayne Board. And this will be holding penalty against Buffalo. That did cost the Bills some good yardage and a chance to stop the clock again. It'll be marked down back to the 45 of Buffalo territory.
Offensive holding, number 72.
Ken Jones was trying to keep Fred Dean out of there, and he's been pretty good at handling the outside rush for the Buffalo Bills. Not that time, so it'll be second down and 11 at the 45. Bills have been penalized 50 yards so far. They lead it 7-6. 1:17 remaining in the first half. Ferguson swings it out to Booker Moore. Moore needs to get by Blackmore, and he's hit hard by Ronnie Lott. Fumbles, and the Bills recover back at the 40-yard line. Now let's see where they blew it dead. They blow it dead at the 44-yard line.
Dick, number 42, Ronnie Lott, as you go around the league and talk to opposing coaches and players, say without a doubt he's the most aggressive defensive back in the National Football League. Indication right here. He's coming from center field, free safety. Watch this hit.
He can do it. Looks like a linebacker, could probably play linebacker. Has played all but one defensive back spot this year. 3rd down and 12 at the 44. Fred Dean goes offside. And a free down. Buster Barnett has a 1st down at the 44-yard line of the 49ers. If the penalty is against San Francisco, the clock stops with 33 seconds to go. The penalty will be declined. Tina Turner and Bobby Leopold both make the stop. Ferguson is having success going to Buster Barnett, the tight end up the middle. It is against Fred Dean. Keep in mind the Bills still have 1 timeout remaining. That's all. Leading 7-6, trying to get at least into field goal range. We're going to have a measurement right now. Ferguson
really thinks they might have a 1st down. 33 seconds remaining.
And that's an important measurement because otherwise it would be 4th down. So despite the fact that the clock looms large right now, the 1st down is important to the Bills. And they're shy by half a foot. They bring in Roosevelt Leaks, their short yardage specialist.
They make the 1st down here, Dick. That'll help them, not only the fact that they get to play on 1st down again, but they'll have to move the chains and things, so they'll have time to get those specialty people off the field, their other people back in and get a play call, and perhaps not cost them any more seconds.
Roosevelt Leaks scored the only touchdown of the game, a 1-yard plunge. Ray Wersching 2 field goals. That's the story. 7-6 Bills. 4th down and inches. And here's Roosevelt Leaks. 1st down. And the Bills now will use their last timeout with 27
for their
seconds
3rd and final
remaining in the
timeout of
first
this half.
So Ferguson over conferring with Kay Stevenson. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line of San Francisco. Keep in mind that a field goal has not really been that automatic for the Bills this year.
It never is this time of year in this stadium.
Anxious to know what Jimmy the Greek has to say about the 2nd game upcoming and Dick Vermeil's analysis of some of the key matchups.
I think he knows enough about the Redskins and the Cowboys to talk for a while, that's for sure.
Brenton Irv will have scores and highlights from around the league. The Detroit Lions, team that can clinch the NFC Central, trailing Cincinnati the last time we checked. And Houston shocking Cleveland, which of course is good news for the Buffalo Bills, who could use a loss by the Browns. Keep in mind the Bills need to win both of their games. Ferguson. There's Joe Danello waiting for a possible curtain call. Ferguson started slowly in the game. He threw 2 interceptions early, making it 6 or 9 interceptions in the last 5 games, but has completed 7 in a row. And he's like that young tight end Buster Barnett, who has caught 4 passes for 45 yards. 1st and 10 at the San Francisco 43. Joe Ferguson looking for a receiver, and he has Byron Franklin. Byron Franklin gets by 1 tackler, and he goes out of bounds at the 20. A 23-yard pickup, and 15 seconds remain, and the clock stops.
Byron Franklin, the 2nd-year player out of Auburn. Good protection up front for Ferguson. He has all day to look around. Catches him underneath, and then the speed right here. The 49ers were playing extremely loose that time. See number 52, Bobby Leopold, right there. Normally a linebacker. He was lined up in center field and free safety that play.
So without the veterans, Jerry Butler and Frank Lewis, who the Bills sorely missed, they're depending on the likes of Byron Franklin and Perry Tuttle. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. 15 seconds to go in the first half. They may get one play off before a field goal attempt. Booker Moore has it and will go out of bounds at the 15 with 9 seconds to go, and here comes Dinello.
Buffalo did a great job on that drive. You got to give Joe Ferguson, Case Stevenson a lot of credit. Milking that clock down with only one timeout and that ball downfield and in position for this field goal attempt.
Dinello's first field goal attempt was blocked. Matt Kopler, the backup quarterback, will be holding with 9 seconds to play. Ronnie Lott made the play on Booker Moore, who showed good hands in holding on to that pass. It'll be a 33-yard attempt by Dinello. And the kick is good. So despite the fact that they had only one timeout remaining, Joe Ferguson engineered the Bills into scoring position so that Joe Dinello could make good on a 33-yard field goal, and the Bills now lead it 10-6.
And what made it even more impressive was the fact that they came back after they had a holding penalty that cost them about 25 yards. You can't do it any better than they just did.
Ferguson hit the tight end Buster Barnett, but the big play was to Byron Franklin, a 23-yard gain, and Franklin scampering for the sidelines to set up the field goal attempt. So it's 10-6, the Bills lead. 6 seconds remain in the first half. Dinello will kick off, and Dana McLemore and Jeff Moore are back for the 49ers. Keep in mind that the 49ers have lost their last 2 road games after starting out awfully hot with victories at Minnesota, St. Louis, New England, New Orleans, and against the Rams. Short kick picked up by Moore. And time is going to run out as Moore is finally tackled at the 28-yard line. So a good tight, as Wayne Walker says, old-fashioned ball game. At halftime, it's 10-6 in favor of the Buffalo Bills. Case Stevenson has to be satisfied. And coming up, Brent Musburger with halftime from the NFL Today. We're back at Rich Stadium in Buffalo, where the Buffalo Bills lead the San Francisco 49ers 10-6 at halftime. Taking a look at the halftime statistics. What jumps out at you is the fact that the 49ers have gained only 40 yards rushing, and the leading rusher for the Niners, Joe Montana, with 22 yards.
You see that rushing yardage from Buffalo, and a lot of that came from one burst by Joe Cribbs, 45 yards. He ended up with 74 yards himself in the first half on just 8 carries. And keep in mind, last week against Kansas City, on a day kind of like today, they gave him the ball 36 times. So I would expect that Buffalo will come out here and try to get the ball to Cribbs as much as possible.
And one of the things that Kay Stevenson had told us, and one of the problems the Bills have been having, is the fact that their defense had been on the field a lot more than the offense. And it hasn't been the case this week. In fact, last week against Kansas City, the offense had something like 20 fewer plays than the defense, and that isn't the case today. They're just about even. So there's more balance. There's Joe Montana, who's completed 10 of 17 in 6 of his last 7. And, of course, he is also approaching San Francisco quarterback records for a year.
And so far in this ballgame, Buffalo's been able to do what they wanted to do defensively, and that's prevent San Francisco from making a big play.
Now look at these fans. They drove 3,000 miles to see the 49ers and Wayne Walker, a hero in his own right.
a long drive. Well, that's not Villapiano's airplane.
No. Well, I just hope Mary Lou says yes.
Hope she's here.
A lot going to waste if she's not. Hope she's not a no-show. Ray Wersching will kick off to the Buffalo Bills as we start the second half. 10-6. Wersching, of course, has established an all-time one-season scoring record by virtue of his second field goal, breaking Gordy Saltow's record.
And watch him work with the ball right here, pressing it a little bit. As I mentioned, when it gets cold and you can't get compression on the ball, it's like kicking a rock out there, and he's just trying to break the casing of that football a little bit so he can get his foot a little bit deeper into it on this kickoff.
Rob Riddick on the left, Van Williams on the right. Line drive kick, and Rob Riddick at the goal line. Runs it out. And Riddick brings it out pretty well, and it's Ray Wersching along with Blackmore. Fumble on the play, and the 49ers recover at the 40-yard line. So Wersching and Richard Blackmore both converged on Rob Riddick, who had a pretty good return going. The ball was popped loose, and Dan Buns recovered it for the San Francisco 49ers.
And he really had something going here as he started up the middle, took it to the sideline. The wedge did a good job for him. Wersching's in there digging out. And Dan Buns, number 57, as you mentioned, came up with the football.
So the 49ers have it. First and 10 at the 41 at Buffalo. The turnover story. Third for the Buffalo Bills. Wendell Tyler off the left side, breaks the tackle and gets a first down inside the 30-yard line. So Wendell Tyler, who had gained only 2 yards in 5 attempts, has a first down as Chris Keating and Steve Freeman make the tackle.
The 3 linebackers right there, Sanford, Marv, and Keating, all get caught up in the middle, and Wendell Tyler bounces out.
Tyler came back from that nightmarish game against Chicago when he fumbled twice, including once at the goal line, to gain 102 yards last week. This was a 12-yard pickup. He goes in motion, and Roger Craig carries this time, and Craig down to the 22-yard line. A hard-charging runner, Roger Craig, as Wayne mentioned, 3 touchdowns last week against Tampa Bay. His best game this year was 87 yards against New England. Eugene Marv again on the play, and Michael Kennedy assisted this time.
Well, it looks like the 49ers at halftime decided to come out and play some December football, too, and keep it on the ground. A good block that time by Keith Fahnhorst on the pull on the outside linebacker.
Gain of 7, second down and 3 at the 22. Bills lead at 10-6, opening minutes, third quarter. Craig inside. And he may have a first down. Ben Williams makes the stop on Roger. See where they spot the ball. It's inside the 20, and it should be a first down for the 49ers. It is. Buffalo defense, Williams, Smerlis, and Ken Johnson up front. Keep in mind Sherman White is injured and not dressed today. Lucius Sanford and Irvin Parker outside. Chris Keating and Eugene Marv inside. Clark and Rome to the corners. Michael Kennedy and Steve Freeman the safety.
And if I were playing defense, I'd be worried about play action pass here.
First and 10. Roger Craig up the middle again to the 15. And a gain of 4. Ken Johnson, the right end, makes the tackle. Bill Walsh says he can't really say what kind of year this has been until all the votes are in. He won't know for a couple of weeks. Super Bowl coach 2 years ago, saw his team struggle last year and get off to a great start this year. They lost 4 of their last 5 before the victory last week over Tampa Bay. Second and 7 for Joe Montana. Montana to put it up, and he swings it out to Craig. Craig inside the 10-yard line. Lucius Sanford makes the tackle on Craig. So the 49ers with swing passes and keeping the ball on the ground, getting close.
Dwight Clark ran kind of a clearing short pattern here. Montana looked at him, looked everybody off, and then went to Roger Craig over in the flat. Montana says that's one thing that I can still improve on is my eye work. Going to the guy I want to throw to right at the last instant. Did an excellent job with it that time.
They spot the ball just inside the 10. Roger Craig, second on the team in receptions this year, second in rushing for the rookie from Nebraska. It'll be third down and 1. Tyler has a first down and more inside the 5. So the 49ers, taking advantage of that fumble by Rob Riddick on the kickoff return, have churned the yardage out in a first and goal inside the 5.
Down on the field for this one, number 51 is Randy Cross as he comes out and gets a kick-out block. Roger Craig, 33 right there. Block on Eugene Marv, and then good tough running by Wendell Tyler.
Tyler goes out of the ball game. First and goal at the 4, and Jeff Moore replaces him, and we have a whistle. We may have an official timeout, and Bob Frederick is going over to the Buffalo bench. You have any idea?
Sure don't.
I think that they have a problem in communications, and the headset between upstairs and downstairs has gone out, and I think they must tell the 49ers that. Or at least the Niners had the problem, and now both clubs, I guess, have to follow the same pattern.
If one system goes out on either side, then the others have to do without it also.
And when Kay Stevenson signaled across to the 49er bench, that's probably what that was all about. Walsh is still wearing his headset. It's first and goal at the 4 for San Francisco. Now, I understand that everyone's phones are working again, so both benches know about it, and now we can get back to work. 49ers have gained 32 yards rushing in this drive.
Benches' phones are now working.
.10:42 remaining in the third quarter. Montana swings it out, and all alone is Roger Craig, touchdown. So Roger Craig, who scored 3 touchdowns rushing last week, has his second touchdown receiving this time, and so the 49ers have taken the lead.
And one of the questions when he came out of Nebraska, could Roger Craig catch the ball? Look at the adjustment he made here. The ball's behind him. He reaches back, gets it with one hand, brings it in, and gets the 6.
Roger Craig, they expect big things of him at the 49ers. The top rookie with Montana holding, Ray Wersching. To try the conversion, a high snap, and the kick is up, and it's now 13-10. The 49ers, who drew first blood with a 3-0 lead, now have a 13-10 lead.
87 is Dwight Clark. Roger Craig running a pattern behind him. Uses people up in the middle, and that was part of the reason no one got out on Roger Craig.
You're looking at the scoring drive. Started from the 41, and 32 of those yards were on the ground. Capped by a 4-yard pass, Montana to Roger Craig. Wersching kicks it off to Van Williams. 2 yards in the end zone. We'll run it out. Penalty flags fly, and Van Williams brings it out to the 12. We have a penalty on the play on the return, and as you might guess, it's that illegal block called against the Buffalo Bills. Jeff Stover made the tackle on Van Williams.
There it is, the ever popular.
NCAA basketball next Saturday on CBS, and a matchup. They both made the Final Four last year in Albuquerque and North Carolina State. A Cinderella champion. Jim Valvano, Denny Crum, 2 outstanding teams with 2 good coaches.
See if Valvano can get NC State ready to handle that pressure defense of Louisville. They pick you up when you come in the gym.
3:45 Eastern. Billy Packer and Gary Bender will be at courtside. Louisville, NC State, NCAA basketball, the home of the NCAA championship, this year to be held in Seattle at the Kingdome. So the Bills are set back as a result of the penalty. And the decision by Williams to run out the kick, so it'll be at the 11, 1st and 10. Make it the 5-yard line. 1st and 10 at the 5. Joe Ferguson keeps it on the ground to Joe Cribbs, and Cribbs gets a couple, and that's all. Right now for an NFL Today report, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Dick, you know what got Minnesota back in. Their special teams. They came and blocked the Chicago punt. Chicago fired Bob Parsons last week. Ray Stackowitz couldn't get it off, and now Minnesota has pulled to within 3 points. Let's go back to Dick and Wayne.
All right, Brent, we'll watch that closely because the Vikings can win the Central by winning the last 2 and the Vikings losing the last 2 and the Packers losing a game. Vikings also have wild card hopes, but they're trailing Chicago. Both teams in the playoff hunt. Flags fly. Penalty at 2nd and 8.
False start, 84 on the offense.
So 2 penalties against the Buffalo Bills. Buster Barnett, the tight end, who caught 4 passes in the first half.
49ers now, Dick, in a situation with Buffalo backed up here, can take some chances on defense. They haven't blitzed much today. They have a lot in the pass. We may see it.
It's not a false start. It was an encroachment, number 84 on the offense.
Same man, different call, encroachment. 2nd down and 14. Everything so far has gone wrong for the Bills in this half, beginning with Riddick's fumble. 49ers getting a touchdown out of it, and now backed up to their own goal line. 2nd down and 14 at the 4-yard line. Ferguson keeps it on the ground to Joe Cribbs, looking for running room. Ricky Ellison and Pete Kugler came over in a hurry, and they wrestled Cribbs down. You think these teams have had a long war kind of rivalry over the years, the way they're going at it and flailing at each other after the play's over.
Pretty simple to figure out. This is actually a playoff game for these teams. Buffalo has to win 2, and it sure would help the 49ers if they did win 2. The 49ers, I mean. Yeah, they're getting after each other down there. This is playoff pressure out there right now on the field.
0-2 against the Bills, and of course they're the only team never to beat Buffalo Bills. They've lost 1 at Candlestick Park, 1 in Buffalo. 3rd and 9. And a handoff to Joe Cribbs off of the shotgun, and Cribbs with a penalty marker down gets it out to the 12-yard line, short of a 1st down by a good 5 yards. Carlton Williamson came over from strong safety to make the play. And yet another penalty against the Buffalo Bills. So illegal block, encroachment, and now holding against the Bills. And they just can't get out of first gear here in this drive.
They had a real good-looking play that time. They had Cribbs around the corner, but I think Jim Richer, the left guard on the pull, held Keena Turner, the outside linebacker.
There is Richer, former 1st-round draft pick from North Carolina State.
Offensive holding, number 51, and the penalty will be refused. 4th down.
So now it's 4th down, and the 49ers see an opportunity for good field position. Greg Cater will punt for the Bills. Dana McLemore will be deep for the 49ers. Cater at the goal line. Cater had his best game of the season last week when he punted for over 43 yards against Kansas City, which is awfully tough to punt in the winds of Buffalo. It has been for about every kicker they've had here. There's McLemore. High kick. McLemore at the 40. Down at midfield. McLemore had some concerns about the weather when we saw him in the elevator, getting ready to go on the bus, but he's handled things pretty well. Timeout, 13-10 the Niners.
Creative manual.
Draw play, drills it up the middle to Dwight Clark, and Clark completes it to the 25-yard line. Michael Kennedy makes the tackle, and a 25-yard gain to Dwight Clark, the leading receiver the Niners have.
Just a total dead spot in the Buffalo zone defense right here. Watch Clark come off the line of scrimmage, and then he'll run a post pattern at about 15 yards. Romes leaves him alone over there, and then there's no one to pick him up in the middle, and he was wide open.
Clark now has caught 3 for 41 yards. Been the leading receiver the last 2 years in the NFL. Had his best game average-wise last week with 90 against Tampa Bay. 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. Roger Craig gets hit at the line of scrimmage and bucks forward for about a yard. Ken Johnson the tackle. New Orleans leading Philadelphia 17-3. They'll be playing against the Rams next week, and that could be pivotal. Chicago over Minnesota 16-13 in the third quarter. Cincinnati still leading Detroit 17-6. Lions have the opportunity. They just need to win one of their remaining 2 to wrap up the NFC Central. 2nd down and 8 at the 23. Montana. He's found back there. Ben Williams and Eugene Marv were both there. Williams, who leads the club in sacks with 8. Out of Ole Miss in his 8th year, Pro Bowl last year, and he should be headed there again this season.
Having a very solid year, and he got that sack off a guy that's having a great year too, Keith Vonhorst.
Vonhorst, of course, has had a Pro Bowl kind of year, and he's taken on the best pass rushers, and most of them have gone home empty-handed. 3rd down and 15. The ball back now at the 30. David Tilson. 6 backs in there. Looking pass to Dwight Clark. And Clark has a 1st down inside the 15. Michael Kennedy makes the hit. And once again, losing their tempers inside. 17-yard pickup. One of the things that Bill Walsh said to go against the bump and run with these kind of pass plays.
Like Clark got away from the line of scrimmage pretty good right here. We'll see. Looking inside. Good move there short. And he eludes Romes, and now he's wide open looking for the ball. So he made a good move and eluded the bump and run. And Bill Walsh said that would be the key today for the San Francisco offense if they were going to stay in sync. And then a little late, too, aren't they?
Montana has completed 10 of his last 11 as Dwight Clark goes out of the ball game. Up the middle goes Wendell Tyler, and Tyler gets close to the 5-yard line. On 1st and 10, Eugene Marv makes the play. Good block by the left guard, John Ayers.
Wendell Tyler been extremely careful with the football. Had a bad game a couple of weeks ago against the Bears where he fumbled down in this kind of situation. It actually was on the 1-yard line, and he made it very straightforwardly and said, I just got to start concentrating more on keeping hold of the ball in those critical positions, not worrying about getting in the hole so fast and cover it up. And he had a fine game last week, went over 100 yards and didn't drop it once. So he is concentrating, has improved it just through his mental process in the last week.
2nd and 3, Wendell Tyler down to the 2. And making sure he holds on to that ball. Tyler came into this game needing 227 yards. As you see, a 1st down for San Francisco, needing 227 in the remaining 2 games to go over 1,000. Gained 1,000 or more in 79 and 81. Eugene Marv made the tackle. And so Tyler right now has gained 31 yards in 9 attempts. 1st and goal at the 1.5. And they give it to Wendell, touchdown. Penalty flag, however, down. Penalty marker is down. Tyler went in. 49ers are signaling touchdown, and it is. It's against Buffalo.
The defense were offside. Penalty refused. Touchdown.
Wendell Tyler with his 4th touchdown rushing this year.
And the people over on the left side of the San Francisco line, John Ayers, Bubba Paris, had the whole thing caved in over there. With a good block in there. He's in there untouched. The last 2 offensive series for the 49ers, their offensive line has just absolutely controlled the line of scrimmage, and that's been the difference.
Montana holds for Ray Wershing. And the kick is good. 4 minutes and 28 seconds remain in the third quarter. And the San Francisco 49ers, who trailed at the half, are leading now 20-10. Ray Wershing will kick off. 4:28 showing in the third period, and the 49ers, and they took advantage of that Riddick fumble and seemed to let the air out of the Buffalo balloon, and then penalties when they were backed up in their own area. Bob Riddick and Van Williams are back. Williams at the 12. Fumble, and Bill Ring is recovered for the 49ers at the 34-yard line. So the Buffalo Bills have fumbled 2 kickoffs so far here in the third quarter, and the 49ers have great field position with a 10-point lead.
Almost identical circumstances. Both times when they fumbled on these kickoffs, they had things going. This is a good-looking run right here. Good job by the wedge blocking up front. Williams gets over to the sideline. Jeff Stover reaches in, number 72, strips the ball away, and it's Bill Ring who comes up with it. Both times they had running room on the sidelines and couldn't hang on to the football.
2 fumbles this half. Joe Ferguson threw 2 interceptions earlier in the ball game. First and 10 at the 33. Penalty flags fly. Roger Craig for no gain. Wendell Tyler moved in the backfield. Four turnovers for the Buffalo Bills. Only 1 for the 49ers.
The flag will be picked up. Number 26 did reset. The flag will be picked up. There is no penalty. No foul.
Irvin Parker is limping off the field for the Buffalo Bills. So he'll be replaced. Looks like Darryl Talley, second-round draft pick from West Virginia. First and 10 at the 33. 20-10, the 49ers on a reverse. Freddie Solomon trying to go outside. Lucius Sanford chases him, and Charles Roan drives him out of bounds. So the Bills actually played that well.
They had guys with great reactive ability over there. Lucius Sanford, one of their quickest players, number 57. You'll see him show up as Solomon tries to get around the corner. There he is. Makes him belly back a little bit, but Solomon with that great speed still gets some yards.
Lucius Sanford, the only linebacker who stays in passing situations. 6th year from Georgia Tech. Finally got his chance playing behind Isaiah Thomas. Now as a starter, making the most of it. Moore and Ring out of the backfield, and Joe Montana's pass is to Jeff Moore, but he's hit immediately by Chris Williams.
It'll be 4th down, and Ray Wershing will come on. And you people that haven't seen Wershing before, watch him tap Montana here and never look up. Superstitious, he'll tap Montana a couple times and never look at those goalposts.
Wershing has hit 2 field goals so far from 37 and 29 yards, both in the first half. Wayne says just keeps his eye down, and he tapped Joe Montana,
saying help me.
45-yard attempt. He's 2 for 2 so far in this game. And this kick is no good. So Ray Wershing, who is 24 for 27, this is his 4th field goal of the season from 46, 45, 50, and 51. He has still not missed inside the 40.
Well, he definitely didn't get all of this one. Someone may have got a hand on it. I don't know. You couldn't tell. Somebody up there with a great effort. Nevertheless, it's 20-10, and we'll be back.
59 remaining in the third quarter. Dick Stockton and Wayne Walker here at Rich Stadium, Buffalo. First and 10 at the 27. Following the missed field goal by Wershing, Bills trail by King. Joe Ferguson trying to bring him back. Ball still gone. Looking for a receiver. They're all covered, and Ferguson's going to have to run. Chased by Jim Stuckey out of bounds. You can credit the 49ers downfield, though. They blanketed the Buffalo receivers.
Yeah, and you got to credit Joe Ferguson, too. Pretty good composure on that play. He's getting a hand here from the Buffalo fans because he did a sensational job on this. Planned roll out to the right. This is called a dash. You start straight back and then dash out here to the right, pull up the throw. He goes down. There's your composure. He gets up so quickly that nobody could touch him. Gets around to the left side, starts to pick up a couple blocks, and then Hawk puts it to the sideline.
He picked up 7 yards, so instead of a loss, he gained 7. Good play for Ferguson. Second down and 3 at the 34. Bills trail 20-10, 3:47 remaining in the third. Booker Moore and Joe Cribbs out of the eye. Play action. Ferguson getting a rush from Tina Turner. Gets away, and the pass is dropped. Joe Cribbs, the intended receiver. Story about the Buffalo Bills. Their offense had the ball as much as their defense in the first half. That has not been the story this season for the most part. But look at the second half.
That is because, as we mentioned earlier, 2 turnovers will do it to you. And then the San Francisco offensive line doing a good job up front. They've been controlling the ball with the run.
The Bills' defense is ranked 25th, but keep in mind, I don't care how good your defense is, when they're on the field most of the time, they're going to wear down sooner or later.
They always say that, but why doesn't the offense get tired too?
Used to come off and tell the offensive team to hold them. Did you do that in Detroit? 3rd down and 3 at the 34. Out of the shotgun. Ferguson. Joe Cribbs broken up nicely by Tina Turner.
Not many linebackers in the National Football League can make that kind of play. Tina Turner, who has been having an all-pro season for the San Francisco 49ers with great quickness that time against a guy like Cribbs, made the cut right with him, then reacted to the ball in the air. One of the good ones right there you're looking at, number 58.
There aren't too many physical players on defense for the 49ers as physical players go. Ronnie Lott and Tina Turner are 2 of them, however. Greg Cater will kick it away. Dana McLemore is back. McLemore at the University of Hawaii. Very high, not long. McLemore, good kick though at the 31, gets hit, but holds on to the ball. Van Williams, who fumbled that last kickoff, applied the hit. We have a penalty flag down at the 40-yard line. McLemore had all he could do to hold on to it, which he did. The board meeting. It'll be against the Niners. Personal foul.
Personal foul, number 54 on the kick return team.
It's on Ron Ferrari, and it puts the Niners back to the 15, and we'll be back.
I like it.
If you really like it, I really like it. We can help you get it. We're GMAC. We're GMAC Financing.
GMAC has helped more people buy their new GM car or truck than anyone, with rates that make sense on models people want. All at your GM dealer.
If you really want it, we can help you get it. We're GMAC Financing. We got it!
Last year, we asked our competition to pick the best personal computer based on price and memory. They all chose the Commodore 64. With all the changes in the computer industry, we thought we'd better check again. The new IBM personal computer chose the Commodore 64. The new Apple IIe chose the Commodore 64. The more things change, the more things stay the same. Commodore, in more homes than any other home computer.
3 minutes and 28 seconds to go in the third quarter. 1st and 10 for the 49ers back on their 15. Wendell Tyler going outside and takes it out to the 19-yard line. The tackle made by Darryl Talley, who replaced Irvin Parker, who was shaken up. Probably one of the poorest field conditions, positions that the 49ers had started from the entire game.
That means Buffalo can take some chances on defense now, and you almost get the feeling that for them to get this game turned around again, they're going to have to come up with a big play on defense, a turnover of some sort.
Joe Montana 15 of 22. His touchdown passes to Roger Craig. And here's Craig trying to carry outside. Doesn't get beyond the 21-yard line, so the Bills closing fast on defense. It'll be third down. And about 4. Darryl Talley and Chris Keating were both in there.
They took a little chance, and they did blitz one inside linebacker, Eugene Marv, that time. He was the first one back there. He disrupted the play.
Keating has been in on a lot of plays today. A smart, steady linebacker in his 5th year from the University of Maine, who rarely makes mistakes. Third down and 4 at the 21-yard line.
6 defensive backs in the game now for Buffalo.
Montana over the middle with Jeff Moore. Moore has the first down. As he gets to the 27-yard line, Steve Freeman, the free safety, makes the tackle. So Moore, who caught a pass earlier for 33 yards to set up a field goal, has been an important cog for the 49ers today.
Well, Buffalo does in that situation. 4 down linemen, 1 linebacker. That's Lucius Sanford. And Moore, who you see right there, did an excellent job that time of beating Sanford to the inside with a good move.
Jeff Moore was with Seattle. Came over to the 49ers, as we said, has not seen as much action on offense this year. Of course, with the arrival of Tyler and Craig, has made a difference. First and 10 now at the 28-yard line. Minute 19 to go, third quarter. Joe Montana was looking deep. Now he's looking to run for his life. And he's down inside the 10. Darryl Talley. And that's the 5th sack by the Buffalo Bills today. Second-round draft pick from West Virginia.
He was an All-American for the Mountaineers last year. Very quick and strong. He's been their designated blitzer, but he's in there now playing regularly because Irvin Parker has been out since in the second quarter with an injury.
He's third in the team in sacks, despite the fact that he hasn't played all that much. A 19-yard loss. Second down and 29. The 49ers are at the 9-yard line, and they have to get up to the 38. And now the 49ers are going to call a timeout. The Redskins and the Cowboys will be coming up. Joe Theismann against Danny White. What about the running attacks of these teams? 2 different styles with John Riggins and Tony Dorsett.
No, they really are, but you can't forget that the Redskins have Joe Washington, too. They can come in there and mix it up and get outside with him. It's like everybody's going to figure it's just going to be that kind of matchup.
You know, the Redskins secondary might have been the most vulnerable part of their defense earlier this year. They've come on strong as of late, but they're going to be facing Danny White. That's going to be a tough assignment.
Well, that was pointed out, I think, Dick, in the very first game against them when Washington got that big lead, and then the Cowboys came back with long strikes to Tony Hill and players like that. So they did victimize them in that first game.
Washington and Dallas. And for the viewers, of course, in St. Louis, Denver and San Diego, the St. Louis Cardinals, who have won 4, lost 2, and tied 1 in their last 7 games against the Los Angeles Raiders. Neil Lomax coming on more and more, young quarterback in the league. Cardinals still mathematically alive for playoff berth against the L.A. Raiders, who have wrapped up the AFC West title. Second down and 29. Montana back to his 1. His pass is caught at the 22-yard line by Dwight Clark. It'll be third down and about 15. A 13-yard pickup. Clark is having a good day. That was his 5th catch of the game, and he leads the 49ers with 61 yards on 5 catches.
I mentioned earlier there was a lot of extracurricular massaging going out there. Almost after every play now. Carcass steaming.
14 yards.
Third down and 15. The clock running down. And there's the gun. We will not get another play off. The gun sounds, and that is the end of the third quarter here in Buffalo with the score. San Francisco 20 and Buffalo 10. We now pause for a word from your local station. Walker. Joe Montana, 17 of 24 for 207 yards, but he has completed his last 9 passes and 13 of his last 14. And he's got 3rd and long right now. 3rd and 15. Montana up the middle, and Russ Francis couldn't hold on. It'll be incomplete. Incomplete pass. Francis was the intended receiver. David Kilson defending. So it'll be 4th down, and Tom Orris, who did most of his punting in the first quarter today, will be in again to kick it.
Came close a couple times in that first quarter to get any hand on Orris's punt. And they'll definitely be trying to pressure him here. 1 man back.
Rob Riddick. The Bills have had trouble on returns. Riddick fumbled the opening kickoff return of the second half. Then Van Williams fumbled a punt return, a kickoff return again. 49ers didn't take advantage of the last one. Bills just missing getting a piece of the ball. Riddick at the 38, and Dana McLemore hits him right there. So that's where the Buffalo Bills will take over. 1st and 10. Trailing by 10 points early in the 4th quarter. This could be an important drive for the Bills. 1st and 10 on their 38.
This will be a real crucial sequence for them. They have to get some points on the board, or San Francisco going to let the air out next time they get it.
20 to 10 the score. The 49ers lead. And on 1st down, Joe Cribb, nothing. Stopped for no gain by Jack Reynolds. The Bills did not get a 1st down in the 3rd period. And they're going to be faced with a 2nd and 10. So Hacksaw Reynolds comes out of the game, and now the nickel defense for the 49ers comes in, and that means Fred Dean, who's having the best year of his career with 16.5 sacks, 2nd in the league. Joe Ferguson to Barnett, the tight end. Willie Harper trying to grab it away, but Buster Barnett has it into 49er territory at the 49-yard line. Carlton Williamson in a 12-yard pickup.
It's a great throw by Ferguson here. Good protection up front now. He has a lot of time in the pocket to set up, step forward, and throw this ball. He has it right on the money. Willie Harper not in bad shape there.
Barnett has caught 5 passes for 58 yards now. 1st and 10 for the Bills in San Francisco territory. 20 to 10. 49ers lead. They outscored the Bills 14 to nothing in the 3rd quarter. Quick looking pass to Byron Franklin. It's complete, and Eric Wright wrestles him right there. And they'll pick up some 7 or 8 yards. There are 38,009 fans here at Rich Stadium today. 1,870 no-shows. But keep in mind that here at Rich Stadium, the capacity is 80,200.
So Joe Ferguson has been very reluctant to put the ball up long since early in this game when he came up with the interceptions, but he almost has to do that now, and here's a good situation for him to try to get a quick 6.
You saw Philadelphia come back and tie New Orleans. Chicago holding on against Minnesota. 2nd down and 4 at the 43-yard line, and here's Joe Cribb looking to go outside. Cribb will have the 1st down and more as Dwight Hicks makes the tackle inside the 30 near the 25. Eric Wright and Hicks were both there, and so the Bills have a 1st down and a lot of time left.
Yeah, he's so elusive. Watch what he does with Ricky Ellison, number 50, the linebacker. He gets caught up inside, then slides out. Ellison looks like he's got him locked up right here. And Cribb so elusive, breaks that tackle and gets to the sideline.
So Joe Cribb now has gone over 100 yards. He has 102 in the game on 13 carries following that 16-yard pickup. And it's 1st and 10 at the 27 of the Niners. Play action. Ferguson. And it's almost intercepted by Ronnie Lott. The pass was intended for Byron Franklin. And Lott would like to have that one over again.
Ferguson had to pump once and then pump again and then release, and that allowed Lott to really close on the ball and concentrate on his man. An extended effort right there. If Lott would have missed it, it could have been 6 the other way, too.
Ronnie Lott intercepted a pass earlier in the game, as did Bobby Leopold. Second down and 10 at the 27. 12 minutes, 20 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. 49ers hold a 10-point lead. Ferguson, and wide open is Cribbs at the 20. And he's going to be dropped there. Gain of 7 yards on the play. It'll be 3rd and 3. Richard Blackmore and Ronnie Lott make the tackle on Joe Cribbs. So a 3rd and 3, and as important third downs go in this game, this would have to rate at the top of the list right now.
Well, it does. As we mentioned before this drive started, they have to get some points on the scoreboard right here to get back in this game. Because when San Francisco gets the ball in the late stages of any game with the lead, they go to their running game, use time off the clock, milk that 30-second clock, and they're very good at that.
And when you mean points, it could be a touchdown or a field goal. Dinello has kicked 1 field goal in the game. Another one was blocked. 3rd and 3 at the 20. Ferguson up the middle. Incomplete. The pass was behind Joe Cribbs, who was covered well by Dwight Hicks and Carlton Williamson. So even if the pass been on the mark, it would have been tough for Cribbs. 49ers defending well.
Ferguson obviously disappointed with that throw because it was behind Cribbs somewhat. And it's a lot easier to go down there on that first drive and get the 7 and then have to worry about the 3 later on. They're going to have to reverse that as Dinello comes on.
Dinello had a long kick blocked. Then he made good on a 33-yarder. 37-yard attempt here. Koeffler holding. Chance to bring the Bills to within 7 points of the 49ers. High snap, and the kick is up, and it is no good. It's off to the left. So Joe Dinello, visibly upset, has missed the field goal that could have brought the Bills to within a touchdown. So with 11:22 showing on the clock, the Niners will have the ball, and they still retain the 10-point lead. Joe Montana brings out the 49ers, 1st and 10 at the 20. Still with that 10-point lead. Keeping the ball on the ground. And Wendell Tyler. Terrific acceleration and some neat moves. Brings it up past the 30 for a first down.
Come on,
Seattle leading the Giants 17-9 in the fourth quarter. The Seahawks have an opportunity for a possible wild card, and Cleveland's come back. Important game for them. They've tied up Houston 27 apiece in the fourth quarter. That's bad news for Buffalo. Tyler has gained 50 yards now in 12 carries. Went over 100 last week. 1st and 10 at the 32. And Tyler again takes it out, this time to the 36-yard line. And so, as Wayne mentioned, this is Bill Walsh's mode of operation now. Whenever he has a lead, and doesn't have to be with 10 to go in the third and the fourth. He's done it in the third quarter. Just chew up the game on the ground.
Not only do they use that big scoreboard clock, but the 30-second clock, they'll let that run down. It's at 20 seconds right now, and they'll probably let it go down to about 2 or 3 before they get the ball snapped. Just squeezing it out.
Just getting the line now at 9 seconds. 2nd down and 6 at the 36. Roger Craig takes it out close to the 40-yard line. It'll be 3rd and about 2 for the 49ers. This time Michael Kennedy and Eugene Marv make the tackle on Craig.
And Dick, talking with Bill Walsh before this game, he said that there have been 3 things that have upset him about his club this year. One was that they've given up the big play. They really haven't done that today. Number 2 was, he said, the inconsistency of our offensive line in some games this year. But in the second half here this afternoon, that offensive line is controlling the football game. I said that before, and they are really kicking out at the line of scrimmage now.
3rd and 2. Tyler falls down and is stopped at the 40, 4th down, and Joe Montana frustrated as Tyler loses his footing. Ken Johnson and Irvin Parker make the tackle. Not that it's been a factor in this ball game, but the way that the Niners particularly have been slipping reminds you of those, those ice games, that the Giants and Bears played, 56 title game, when they came prepared with the sneakers. I don't know if that would have helped today. Tom Morris back to punt for the 5th time, and Rob Riddick is beat for the Bills. There's Riddick. 8:50 remaining in the 4th quarter. Bills still trailing by 10 points, missing a field goal opportunity before. And Riddick at the 26-yard line. Ganged up at the 29 and stopped by Milt McCall. So that's where the Bills take it over. 1st and 10 when we return. 8:25 remaining in the 4th quarter. Pressure on Ferguson, and he had to get the ball away. Lawrence Pillars was right on top of him, putting on the rush, and just threw it over the head of Joe Cribbs.
That'll happen sometimes on a screen pass. The longer a quarterback can hold it on the screen, the better off he is. But a lot of times the offensive linemen leave a little bit early. They're supposed to bump and hold for a count or two before they go out in the flat to protect for the screen. And sometimes they leave early, and what happens is just what you saw.
49ers came into the game with 53 quarterback sacks, 2nd in the NFL to the Raiders' 55. They have none so far today, and they are within 8 of the club record. 2nd down and 10. One of the few players without gloves, of course, the quarterback Ferguson, and he's gone down. There's the first sack of the day, and Fred Dean, 16.5 on the year, awfully quick. Dwayne Board also gets a piece of it.
Dean, a combination of strength and speed. Number 74 has a little stun on with Pete Kugler. He started outside, looped up in over the middle. No one was there, and that's about the easiest sack he's had all season long. Confusion in the blocking scheme of Buffalo up front. They can block it 2 ways. They can man or they can zone. That time they didn't either.
Having his best year, a loss of 11 yards on the play. 3rd down and 21 for the Bills back to their own 18-yard line. Things went bad for them from the very start of this 2nd half, and they fumbled the kickoff. This pass dropped by Joe Cribbs, defended by Blackmore. It's 4th down, and the boos cascade down here at Rich Stadium from the faithful who came out today. 4th down, and Cater comes into the ball game. McKay Stevenson knows that the Bills must win 2 games. Actually, they could make the playoffs by winning only 1, but they need a lot of help from other people, hoping that Cleveland and Denver lose their remaining 2. Can't expect it back in. Cater on a slow snap. McLemore is back at the 37-yard line. McLemore still going to the 45, and Cater's the last man. And out of bounds. McLemore went out of bounds at the 21-yard line. No touchdown. He was knocked out of bounds by Greg Cater, the punter, at the 21-yard line. A 43-yard return by Dana McLemore. Not the longest punt return of the year for McLemore.
You know, it's so tough to play this position. In the old days, you used to have twin safeties with the guy back there telling you when to catch the ball, when to let it go. But you're back there alone now, have to make your own judgment for the fair catch or not. McLemore has had the ability most of the season long to make the first guy miss him. He did there, got to the outside, and then the punter himself came over to make the save.
49ers have it 1st and 10 on the Bills' 21. Montana going to the air. He completes this pass to Freddie Solomon, who goes out of bounds at the 10-yard line. And another first down for the 49ers, actually marked inside the 10.
Buffalo looks just tremendously dispirited out there now on defense, Dick. You can tell when the play's over, they're real slow getting into their defensive huddle, and they can kind of see this season right now going by the boards for them.
They were leading 10-6 at the half, but the story of the game have been the fumbles on the returns. Riddick fumbled a kickoff return that Buns recovered. Craig scored the touchdown to give the 49ers a lead. And then Joe Montana with 2 passes for 42 yards to Dwight Clark. Wendell Tyler went over from a yard to make it 20-10. Tyler to the 7-yard line. Chris Keating and Fred Smerlas make the tackle as we wind down to 7 minutes remaining. Don't forget the Dallas Cowboys and the Washington Redskins coming up next. For you fans in Denver, San Diego, St. Louis, it'll be the Cardinals and the LA Raiders. Under 7 minutes to go, 2nd down and 7. At the 7, Montana swings it out to Craig, who can't hold on. Started to run before he had the ball. 3rd down and 7 coming up. Montana trying to keep his hands warm. He's played in the cold weather, of course, in his days at Notre Dame, especially in the Cotton Bowl.
What year was that? 78 that he came back New Year's Day, engineered 3 touchdowns in the last quarter for Notre Dame in an ice storm down there.
Beginning of the Joe Montana legend that picked up again in 1981. Statistically having a better year this year, although he doesn't think so. Maybe that's a good thing. 3rd down and 7. Montana's pass, penalty flag down. Mario Clark defending, and there's Craig and Irvin Parker. I'd like to have Bubba Paris, number 77, protect me if I need.
Good mediator to have.
It's been a rough game today.
It's just been a hard-hitting game. There was a lot on the line going into this one.
Encroachment, number 81 on the offense.
That's Russ Francis for the 49ers. 6:37 on the clock. They'll bring it back to the 12.
Encroachment, 81 on the offense.
So Bob Frederick, make sure we got that one. 3rd down and 12. 3rd and goal at the 12. Montana with a 10-point lead. Incomplete up the middle. An off-balance throw. Roger Craig was the closest to it, but it was 5 yards behind him. So it's 4th down, and Ray Wersching, who has kicked 2 out of 3 today, is coming on to try to give the 49ers a 13-point lead, and that would force the Buffalo Bills to have to come back and score 2 touchdowns for the remainder of this game. His 24 field goals this year, by the way, are 2 behind Bruce Gossett's club record, set 10 years ago. Montana will be holding a 30-yard attempt by Wersching, and the kick is good. So Ray Wersching has kicked his 3rd field goal of the game, and the 49ers have moved in front of the Bills 23-10 with 6.5 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. Ray Wersching with 3 field goals today, and the 49ers with a 23-10 lead, getting set to kick off with 6 minutes 30 seconds to go. And the Bills have to score 2 touchdowns to win this game. Rob Riddick is back, along with Van Williams. Going to go to Riddick. 2 yards in the end zone. Riddick to the 15, 20. Rob Riddick to the 30-yard line and gets past the 35 to the 38-yard line. A good return by Rob Riddick. And Ray Wersching, the kicker, makes the stop on Riddick from Millersville State in Pennsylvania. Coming up next, the Redskins and the Cowboys. And the Hogs up front, doing it for the Skins against Too Tall and the boys up front for the Dallas Cowboys.
That's where the real matchup is, I think, in that one. The Hogs against Randy White and company.
1st and 10 at the 39. The Bills had 201 yards. Total offense in the first half, only 51 yards offensively in this half. Ferguson with a deep drop up the middle of Cribbs. Cribbs at the 45 has a 1st down into 49er territory. Fumbles, but Booker Moore was there to make the recovery. 1st down at the 48-yard line of San Francisco. That's how much time remains in the 4th quarter. Carlton Williamson makes the tackle. The Saints and the Eagles are tied going into overtime at Veterans Stadium. Chicago up their lead over Minnesota to 19-13. They're in the 4th quarter. Ferguson, 1st down, Once again, it's Cribbs. Gets by one man, but he doesn't get by Ricky Ellison. He loses his helmet, has a few words for Ricky Ellison, and is dropped at the 44. Cincinnati leading Detroit 17-9, so the Lions may have to do it against Tampa Bay next week.
Looks like it'll be, Nate. Wait till next week for them now.
They have to win that game to win the division. And Seattle, they have an opportunity, leading the Giants in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, if they win 2 games and Cleveland, Buffalo, and Denver lose, then they're going to be a wild card.
And Cleveland's losing to Houston now, 34-27 in an update of that game. 2nd and 5 at the 44. Pressure on Ferguson. He hits Joe Cribbs, and Cribbs, I think, has a first down at the 38-yard line. Ronnie Lott and Bobby Leopold make the tackle, and it is a first down Buffalo. 4:35 remains, fourth quarter. But the Bills need 2 touchdowns. Anything short of that wouldn't do the job.
San Francisco been playing pretty soft on this drive, too. Don't be surprised now if they bring some people, try to get Ferguson.
They know he's got to go to the air, and he's done it every play. Perry Tuttle goes wide to the right. Ferguson, 19 of 31, 163 yards. He's thrown 2 interceptions. Again, Cribbs, and Cribbs again is hit by Ricky Ellison. The forward motion will be at the 34-yard line. But I think Joe Cribbs is getting a little upset. I don't think what Ellison did was anything illegal either, but it's been that kind of a game as the clock continues to run. Important game for the 49ers. They know they can get in the playoffs with a win over Dallas, but a win today wouldn't hurt them either. The New Orleans Saints, on a Morton Anderson field goal, have beaten the Philadelphia Eagles in overtime, 20-17, keeping the Saints' hopes alive. Ferguson on 2nd and 5 hits Booker Moore to the 20-yard line, and another first down. Blackmore the tackle. The Bills have all of their timeouts remaining, trailing 23-10, and moving the ball. The NFC West standings with New Orleans winning. Now, they can win the division if the Rams and Niners lose the remaining 2, but San Francisco is up by 13 here. So New Orleans' hope may be the wild card win.
It is. Los Angeles plays New England later on today.
And, of course, the 49ers want to win this one because if the Rams stumble against the Patriots, the 49ers take over first place. All alone. Deep pass to Joe Cribbs. Penalty flag down. Blackmore was defending against Joe Cribbs. A penalty marker down at about the 15-yard line. .239 showing on the clock. It's against the 49ers. That's the game that's coming up. Bill Walsh hoping his team doesn't get down to the...
Illegal contact. Number 52 of the defense. First down.
First down, Bobby Leopold. Illegal contact, so it's a first down at the 20. Bill Walsh would not like to see his team get down to a situation where the Bills are in a position to try an onside kick and maybe get possession in the waning minutes. 2:39 remaining in the fourth quarter. First and 10. Ball spotted at the 15. Ferguson. Completed pass. Blackmore over Byron Franklin. Clock is running.
Buffalo preserving those timeouts in case they get the ball again, because then that's when they'll really need them. They'll get a clock stoppage here at 2 minutes.
And they may use some of those timeouts when the 49ers have the ball. That's when they'll probably use them. 2nd and 7 at the 12-yard line, and this pass is caught. It is a completed pass. Perry Tuttle caught the pass with Eric Wright defending, and a fine catch by Tuttle.
Big throw across the field, too, here by Ferguson. As we mentioned, the 49ers just rushing 4 people, playing pretty loose and conservative back there in the secondary. Giving this kind of pass up, hoping you get there as the ball arrives and make contact, but Eric Wright couldn't.
First and goal, Perry Tuttle, first-round draft pick from Clemson. He's caught 9 passes and 2 touchdowns coming into this game. Replaces Jerry Butler. He's caught 2 for 21 so far today. First and goal at the 2 for the Bills. And they need to get it in as soon as they can. Joe Cribbs over the top. Stop. And now we'll have our 2-minute warning with 1:59 showing on the clock. So the Bills do not get over on that play, and they'll have to wait until after the 2-minute warning is history. And that's what we have right now with the score, the 49ers 23 and the Bills 10. We're back. That's the story. The 2-minute warning is over, and the quarterback, Joe Ferguson, coming back on. He's got Roosevelt Leaks, number 48, with him, which gives you a clue. Leaks scored the only touchdown for the Buffalo Bills. He is their short yardage specialist, and I'd have to say the Bills can't delay much getting in that end zone at this stage.
Quick snap and over the top if they can get in, and then we'll have an onside kick undoubtedly if they do score.
Bills have not used a timeout on this drive. Second and goal. And here's Leaks. And Leaks is stopped again by Willie Harper. Good play by Pops, the oldest in point of service on the 49ers. They need about a foot. It'll be third down, and the clock stops with 1:53 to go. And a timeout called for by the Bills. They have 2 remaining. They know you're waiting for the Redskins and the Cowboys coming up next from Texas Stadium. And as soon as this game is over, we will bring you that confrontation between the 2 teams with the best record in the NFL, 12-2 in the NFC Eastern Division. In the NFC West, which concerns many of our viewers, the story right now, 49ers and Rams at 8-6, New Orleans winning in overtime 8-7.
So many possibilities remain in that. It could be a 3-way tie between San Francisco, Los Angeles, and New Orleans at the end of the season. If that were the case, the 49ers would go because of head-to-head competition with those other 2 teams.
And New Orleans would be eliminated in that case.
If San Francisco and Los Angeles finish tie for that division, that means that Los Angeles would win it because of record in division.
But the 49ers would like to win this game and then take the Rams' chances and see what happens against New England later on today.
What's that called in hockey? A game in hand?
Game in hand, right. Third and goal. So the Bills taking some time. They failed twice from the 1-yard line. Time is precious to them. Here's Joe Cribbs over the top, and there's a fumble. And Joe Ferguson recovers. But the Buffalo Bills, now Ferguson is saying, let's go, let's get this thing underway. It is 4th down on the 5-yard line.
One of those inside linebackers of the 49ers did a big hit over the middle that time.
Reynolds and Pillars were there, so now the clock is started again. 4th down, and this time at the 5-yard line. So the 49ers defense stopping the Buffalo Bills 3 times, and can they make it 4? And Ferguson has to go to the air this time, and his pass up the middle is intercepted by Ronnie Lott, and that'll do it. Ronnie Lott with his 2nd interception of the ball game, and the 3rd by the 49ers, caused the 5th turnover for the Buffalo Bills. And you know, when you're first and goal at the 1-yard line and you don't get in 3 and get an interception, you have nothing to complain about.
That's exactly true. That time Lott was in kind of a nickel situation because knew that Buffalo had to throw in that situation, so they had their pass defense in there in the nickel, and he's kind of a free man here in the middle and read the eyes of Joe Ferguson, who was looking nowhere else, stepped in and took it.
4 interceptions on the year for Ronnie Lott, 2nd to Eric Wright. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line, and now they're just going to use up the time, although the Bills do have 2 timeouts remaining. Roger Craig rushed on the play, and now the Bills will call a timeout with 1 timeout remaining. We have some people to thank. Executive producer of NFL football, Terry O'Neill. Senior producer, Charles H. Milton III. Being produced by John Ferratzis and directed by Bob Dunphy. Thanks to all of those in the truck who've done such a fine job today. Mike Albanese, our associate producer. Mike Frank, who's been with us. John McRae. And everyone behind the scenes who have worked on this broadcast. And, of course, to our spotter, Marty Aronoff, who we'll be seeing very shortly at courtside on our NBA broadcast. So the San Francisco 49ers, by virtue of what appears to be a victory here, leading 23-10 with 1:11 to go, will take over a temporary, perhaps, lead of the NFC West. Roger Craig outside, ridden out of bounds, stopping the clock with 1:06. What this victory for the 49ers does is eliminate any chance the Saints have of winning the division outright. The Saints won in overtime. The best they can do is get in as a wild card. They needed both the Niners and the Rams to lose both of their remaining games.
See Roger Craig shaking his head a little bit, coming back from the sideline. I don't think that getting out of bounds for him was the best thing to do on that play. And it certainly wasn't the best thing to do for all the people that want to see Dallas-Washington coming up.
No. Bears win, Seattle wins. Bears keep their playoff hopes alive, so do the Seattle Seahawks. 3rd down and 1. Wendell Tyler has a first down, and he takes it to the 33, 34-yard line, less than a minute to play. So the Chicago Bears remain alive. If they had lost today to Minnesota, they would have been out of it. They play host to Green Bay next week. The Minnesota Vikings can still be a wild card. Roger Craig has rushed for 47 yards and 15 carries, but the leading rusher has been Wendell Tyler with 63 yards today in 16 carries. 1st and 10 at the 34. 49ers came into the game knowing that if they beat Dallas, they would clinch the wild card. But they're looking for better things because the wild card would have to go against either Washington or Dallas on the road and would make all of the playoff games road games. Final seconds tick off, and here in Orchard Park, the final score, San Francisco 23, Buffalo 10. For Wayne Walker, Dick Stockton saying so long. Redskins, Cowboys, or Cardinals, Raiders.